Chapter 230. Xiao Chen broke into a cold sweat. This Hong Zhu actually remembered it clearly. Indeed, he should have come yesterday to buy medicinal herbs, but because he was delayed on the deserted island for a day, he had eaten the herbs for an extra day. Something happened, so I didn't come, Xiao Chen coughed twice and said, before buying medicinal herbs, I want to ask you something first. What is it? If little sister knows, I will definitely tell you. However, little sister's 3 measurements are a secret. Hong Zhu winked at Xiao Chen. Body structure is also a secret, don't ask. Cough cough. Xiao Chen suddenly became a little embarrassed and speechless. He turned his head, not daring to look at Hong Zhu's charming eyes. I want to ask if your pharmacy is buying medicinal herbs. Buying medicinal herbs? Hong Zhu thought that Xiao Chen had come to buy medicinal herbs, so when she heard Xiao Chen ask if she was buying medicinal herbs, she could not help but feel a little strange. You have medicinal herbs to sell to me? I have some, but they are illegal goods. It depends on whether or not you dare to accept them, and whether or not you can eat them. Xiao Chen hesitated for a moment and felt that it was better not to lie. After all, this pharmacy was quite good to him, and Xiao Chen could not possibly cheat her, right? Although Hong Zhu would sometimes cheat him, overall, the pharmacy still took good care of him, so Xiao Chen had to make things clear. Illegal goods? Hong Zhu was even more surprised. Where did this illegal goods come from? Are you a great bandit? Pfft, do I look like one? Xiao Chen did not know whether to laugh or cry. I just casually got them from an enemy. These medicinal herbs were originally meant for the Martial Artist Guild's market square, but I robbed them. If you accept them, there might be trouble. After all, the pressure on the Martial Artist Guild and the Hong Clan Chamber of Commerce is not ordinary. Oh, let me see the goods. Hong Zhu nodded after hearing this, as if she was not afraid of trouble at all. All right. Xiao Chen made an inviting gesture and led Hong Zhu out of the room. What is it, handsome? From your expression, do you want to invite little sister to eat? Hong Zhu blinked. Food stalls, roadside stalls, you can choose whatever you want, Xiao Chen said. How insincere. This little sister is a high-class person. I would never go to that kind of place, Hong Zhu said with a smile. Oh, I'm a low-class person. I'm on a different level from you. Let's look at the goods first. Xiao Chen didn't want to get entangled with Hong Zhu too much. If he really provoked this little demon girl, it would definitely bring him endless trouble. You're afraid that my little sister will eat you. Hong Zhu curled his lips. Stop, how old are you this year? Looking at your development, you don't look like a little sister. You always call yourself a little sister in front of me. I really can't stand it anymore. This was a question that Xiao Chen had wanted to say many times. Today, he finally couldn't help but say it. 16 years old, Hong Zhu said. But if you want to call me big sister, I don't have any objections. You grew up on hormones, right? Xiao Chen was speechless. 16 years old? Alright, he had misjudged. How did you know that big sister grew up on hormones? Little brother is so awesome. Hong Zhu directly changed her identity from little sister to big sister. Little brother. So awesome. Xiao Chen took a deep breath. Fortunately, he had strong willpower. How much can you pay for these medicinal herbs? I've made a rough estimate, and the real price is around 10 million. Xiao Chen avoided Hong Zhu's topic and pointed to the medicinal herbs in the cart. A trace of surprise flashed in Hong Zhu's eyes. She had wanted to tempt Xiao Chen into selling the medicinal herbs to her at a low price, but she hadn't expected him to not be fooled. Hong Zhu carefully inspected the medicinal herbs in the cart. Indeed, according to the normal market price, they were worth around 10 million. However, she said, I'll give you 3 million, the price of one set of medicinal herbs. 3 million? One set of medicinal herbs? That's not even a third of it. Are you trying to scam me to death? The lowest price that Xiao Chen could accept was 50% off. After all, although this was illegal, the profits were enormous. Illegal goods naturally have their own price. It's risky for me to buy these things. Think about it, the Warrior Guild and the Hong Clan Chamber of Commerce are huge existences. If they come looking for trouble with Big Sister, how will Big Sister deal with them? You won't kidnap Big Sister to sell your body, right? Just thinking about it is really scary. Hongzhu said. Xiao Chen looked at her appearance. She didn't seem to be afraid at all, so he really didn't know what to say. How about 5 million? 50% off? Aya, this little brother is still fighting with Big Sister for a free transaction. When the time comes, you can ask Big Sister for help. Big Sister will help you. Hongzhu said. Big Sister will owe you a favor. All right. Xiao Chen was too lazy to argue with Hongzhu. After all, Hongzhu was right, this thing was free. Even the Xia clan didn't dare to ask for it, so it was already good that someone wanted it. If the price was lower, then so be it. 3 million was also free. Medicinal herbs, give me 1 set. No problem. Hongzhu was very happy to see Xiao Chen agree. Then, he pointed to an empty space in front of the pharmacy and said, help me unload the medicinal herbs and put them here. Oh, okay. This was nothing for Xiao Chen, and he finished it in no time. On the other side, Hongzhu also grabbed the medicinal herbs for him. Xiao Chen took the medicinal herbs and took his leave. He really didn't want to have too much interaction with Hongzhu. This little demon girl always wanted to scam him. Driving the car that he had swindled from Sun Rongqin, Xiao Chen returned to the villa. However, he didn't park the car in the front yard, but directly in the garage in the villa's backyard. After all, this car might be recognized, so it was better for Xiao Chen to be a bit more cautious. Along the way, Xiao Chen planned to take a look at the universe's super invincible dog, but he didn't see it. Only then did he remember that Yi Xiaoya had taken it away yesterday. He didn't know if she had any results from her research. However, since he didn't see Yi Xiaoya, Xiao Chen didn't go look for her. He put the car down and rushed to the school. He had been late for 2 days in a row. Fortunately, Xiao Chen had a good relationship with the academic affairs dean. Otherwise, he would at least be scolded. After Xiao Chen left, Hongzhu looked at the large pile of medicinal herbs on the ground with a big smile. You're my little Hongzhu. No matter how much I love you, it's never too much. Little Hongzhu, you're really a genius. You earned another 7 million. In addition to the previous 2 million, you've earned 9 million. It's all your private stash. After being happy, Hongzhu picked up his phone and dialed a number. Uncle Tai, I'm little Zhu. Hello, Miss Zhu. Do you have any instructions? An honest voice came from the other side of the phone. Of course, if one really thought that he was honest, then one would be sorely mistaken. Tai Mucheng, the person in charge of the Hong Chamber of Commerce's provincial branch. He was the second in command of the Warriors Market, and the first in command was the president of the Warriors Guild. However, in terms of authority in the market, Tai Mucheng was still slightly more powerful. This was because he was directly appointed by the Hong Chamber of Commerce. This person, who all the warriors in the province had to curry favor with, had a simple and honest image in front of Hongzhu. Uncle Tai, come to the pharmacy for a while. I have medicinal herbs to supply you, Hongzhu said. All right, I'll go over now. Tai Mucheng didn't ask why. It was as if it was only natural for him to do so. Not long after, a Mercedes-Benz commercial vehicle stopped at the entrance of the pharmacy. A middle-aged man in his 40s got out of the car. He was Tai Mucheng. Usually, when Tai Mucheng went out, he would bring a driver and attendants with him. However, this time, he came alone. Once he entered the pharmacy, Tai Mucheng cupped his fists respectfully at Hongzhu. Miss Zhu, what medicinal herbs do you need from me, that's all. Hongzhu pointed at the medicinal herbs piled on the ground at the entrance and said, I've estimated that it's about 10 million. Just give me 10 million. Oh. Tai Mucheng was slightly stunned after hearing that. These are medicinal herbs that Miss Zhu personally supplied? Yes, they're illegal goods. I got them from someone else. Hongju didn't hide anything. Uncle Tai, after you take them back, you know what to do, right? I understand. Miss Zhu, don't worry. I won't speak carelessly. These medicinal herbs were all allocated by the Hong Chamber of Commerce's headquarters. This is the answer no matter who asks, Tai Muching said. Alright, you can go back now. Hongju nodded in satisfaction. If Xiao Qin was here, he would definitely be taken aback. The originally coquettish little Hongju had actually turned into an obedient girl. At this moment, she was no different from Hong Yan. She was natural and unrestrained, like a young lady from a wealthy family. Tai Muching left as quickly as he came. After transferring 10 million to Hongju's account, he left with the medicinal herbs. To him, it didn't matter if these medicinal herbs were stolen goods or not. Even if they were, who could do anything to him? Some were happy, while others were sad. Sun Rongqin didn't manage to play with Kerlin, and the medicinal herbs were snatched away by Hero White Fox. He was extremely depressed. This was really a bad start. His first day in charge of the family business had already gone wrong. How was he going to explain this to his family when he returned? However, Sun Rongqin didn't dare to hide such a big thing. Moreover, if he didn't deliver the medicinal herbs later, Medicine Master's son would immediately find out that something was wrong. Therefore, he might as well hurry home and confess. Of course, he didn't plan to tell them everything that happened today. After all, if he told them everything, he wouldn't be far from being out of luck. Old Man's son could give him power, but he could also take it away. Although Old Man's son was extremely sad about Sun Rongjin's death, he couldn't blame anyone else for this matter. He didn't have a good life. Immediately Feng died, and Xiao Li was executed. What else could he do? He could only say that it was his family's misfortune. Today, Old Man's son had just finished his breakfast when he heard a servant report that Sun Rongqin had returned and asked to see him together with red hair. Let him come over. Sun Xiaonong was a little surprised that Sun Rongqin came back so soon. He thought that Sun Rongqin would go out to celebrate after delivering the medicinal herbs. Sun Xiaonong also understood that Sun Rongqin had been suppressed for too long. Now that he had been promoted, it was normal for him to go and celebrate. He wouldn't interfere. However, Sun Rongqin didn't go. This surprised Sun Xiaonong, but he was also a little surprised. This grandson of his wasn't shallow. He didn't have the impetuous temperament of young people. From this point of view, he was better than Sun Rongjin. Chapter 231. Therefore, for the Sun family, it was a blessing in disguise. Sun Rongqin's ascension to the position might be a good thing. Footsteps came from outside the door, followed by a knock on the door. Sun Xiaonong knew that Sun Rongqin was here, so he said, "Please come in." Rongqin greets Grandpa. Sun Rongqin bowed respectfully. Lu Lizao greets Old Man's son, the red-haired man also said respectfully. "And, the herbs have been sent?" What did Medicine Master Sun say? Sun Xiaonong nodded and asked. "Grandpa. I'm useless." Sun Rongqin knelt on the ground with a thud. "Grandson's medicinal herbs have been stolen." "What did you say?" Sun Xiaonong was stunned. He didn't understand what Sun Rongqin meant. "What do you mean your herbs have been stolen? You mean to say that the Xia family rushed to send the medicinal herbs to the warrior guild before you did and snatched your business?" "No, it's just that on the road, someone blocked my way and robbed me of my car. He also took away the medicinal herbs." Sun Rongqin said with a bitter face, "The opponent was too strong. My strength wasn't enough. Even if I wanted to fight, it was futile." "What happened? Who stole it? Who has the guts to steal our Sun family's herbs?" Sun Xiaonong was furious. This wasn't a small number. 10 million worth of herbs was stolen just like that. "I don't know either. However, he drove the Volkswagen that Rongjin lost. He should be the person who rescued Kerlin, right?" Sun Rongqin had already discussed with the red-haired man on the way. If he told the truth, then everyone would be in trouble. Sun Rongqin wanted to go for the woman his brother liked because of his lust. In the end, the herbs were stolen. Although the red-haired man didn't have much responsibility, he was the one who brought up the matter of Kurlin. He was also the one who brought Sun Rongqin to catch the culprit. How could he not be responsible? Last time, old Master Sun let him go for the sake of Medicine Master Sunday. This time, he didn't know if he would be so lucky. Even if he was lucky enough to survive, he probably wouldn't be entrusted with important tasks again. It wasn't as comfortable as he was now. Following Sun Rongqin, he could eat and drink well. This was much better than being a commoner in the morning market. Oh. Sun Xiaonong was taken aback. That Lin Kuer, isn't she the person that the Zhu family's Zhu Yingxiong wants to protect? That's right, that Lin Kuer is rumored to be the woman that Zhu Yingxiong's boss Xiao family's good-for-nothing Xiao Chen has taken a liking to. So, the person who stole the car is Zhu Yingxiong? Sun Xiaonong asked. Ah, it's not him. I don't know him. Sun Rongqin was shocked and quickly looked at the redhead, Zhu Yingxiong. When Lu Dianbiao died, the Sun family had specially researched this person. It was impossible for Sun Rongqin not to know him. He must have seen his photo. It was just that Sun Rongqin had said that he didn't know who the robber was. However, it was impossible for it to be the useless Xiao Chen. If it was Zhu Yingxiong, he couldn't possibly not know him. Who else could it be? I didn't think it through. Am I going to be exposed? Sun Rongqin broke into a cold sweat. If he was exposed, his position in the Sun family would be unimaginable. It's not Zhu Yingxiong or Xiao Chen. It should be Xiao Chen's other lackey, Qin Jinpeng, said Red Hair. Qin Jinpeng? Didn't he betray Xiao Chen and rely on the Chao family's Chao Yuliang? The Sun family still had a good understanding of these aristocratic families. Especially when they were studying Zhu Yingxiong, they also studied Xiao Chen and his lackeys. Last time, when Ah Duo accompanied young Master Jin to the beach, he saw Qin Jinpeng and Xiao Chen barbecue together. Young Master Jin wanted to get revenge, but Qin Jinpeng claimed to be Xiao Chen's lackey and beat them up. I know about this, so I think it might be Qin Jinpeng. Red Hair's reaction was faster, and he quickly found a scapegoat, Qin Jinpeng. Qin Jinpeng. Sun Xiaonong frowned. Okay, I know. That Qin Jinpeng is a martial artist at the peak of the second level of inner force. He is indeed stronger than you. You guys can leave first. You don't have to bother about this anymore. It's probably the trouble that Sun Rongqin caused back then. He kidnapped Xiao Chen's woman. Xiao Chen used to be a hedonistic young master in the past. It's reasonable for him to let his younger brother rob you guys. No, it's my fault for not being strong enough. Grandson must seize the time to practice and strive to surpass that Qin Jinpeng as soon as possible. Sun Rongqin said quickly. It's good that you have this ambition. Our Sun family will also become a martial arts family in the future. At that time, we won't be worse than those aristocratic families. Even with the business support of the warrior market, it's not impossible to become the first family in the province. Sun Xiaonong waved his hand, indicating that Sun Rongqin could leave. Yes. Sun Rongqin was very happy. He didn't expect to get away with it. Not only did he not have to take responsibility, but he also won the favor of Elder Sunday. In the long run, it's not impossible for him to become the young master. After leaving Sun Xiaonong's study room, they went all the way back to Sun Rongqin's villa. Sun Rongqin patted the red-haired guy's shoulder and said, "You are very good. Your reaction is very fast. Today, we almost exposed ourselves. It's my duty to share young Master Qin's burden." The red-haired guy said flatteringly. Well, today, let's have some fun and calm down. I haven't vented this evil fire yet. You find 2 young models and come here. Let's play 4P together. Sun Rongqin said with a lewd smile. No problem. The red-haired guy was overjoyed. He didn't expect that he could have fun with them. In the past, although he was a street person in the morning market and was also a tyrant in the morning market, he was just a gangster. Even if he had money, he could only find a prostitute in a hair salon. As for young models, he didn't even dare to think about it. But now, following Sun Rongqin, he could enjoy the life of a rich young master. He quickly found a phone and asked his informant to invite the young models over. An hour later, the red-haired guy was dumbfounded. He was completely dumbfounded. Sun Rongqin actually died. Moreover, he died on a woman's belly. Previously, the red-haired guy was still praising Sun Rongqin's indestructible golden spear. In the end, not long after, Sun Rongqin laid down and never got up again. Red Hair was in the midst of his second success, but in the end, he was scared witless. The two young models were also scared silly. They were just earning some extra money. They were originally quite happy to serve the eldest young master of the Sun family, but in the end, they served him to death. However, such a big thing happened. The red-haired guy couldn't hide it even if he wanted to. Without a choice, the red-haired guy could only use one hand to knock out the two young models. Then, he quickly put on his clothes and ran back to Sun Xiaonong's villa. "Why are you back again?" Sun Xiaonong looked at the red-haired guy who ran back in a hurry. "Old man's son, it's bad. Young Master Qin, he's dead." The red-haired guy exclaimed with a sad face. "Dead, dead?" Sun Xiaonong was stunned. He suddenly felt like his heart was going to explode. How did he die? Wasn't he fine just now? The red-haired guy didn't dare to hide it. He told old man's son about Sun Rongqin asking him to find two young models to play with. Then, Sun Rongqin died immediately. Another death on horseback? Sun Xiaonong's face suddenly changed. He really couldn't believe that Sun Rongqin, who was still alive and kicking, died just like that. Moreover, he died on horseback. How was this possible? Could it be that the children of the Sun family had some invisible family hereditary disease? But, why didn't they show it before? Sun Rongqin was depressed before. He often played with small celebrities and young models in his villa, but he never died on horseback. It was the same for Sun Rongjin. If Sun Rongjin was hit by Zhu Yingxiong, then what kind of consequences did Sun Rongqin have? "Yes, old man's son, what should we do?" The red-haired guy's face was sad. "Previously, I tried to persuade young Master Qin. It's fine if he didn't behave properly in the past, but now that he's someone you entrusted with an important task, he should be more careful." But young Master Qin said that he was bullied today and wanted to vent his frustrations. "I can't disobey him. After all, I'm young Master Qin's follower. I can persuade him, but I don't dare to stop him, I know. Let's go. Bring me to him." Sun Xiaonong waved his hand. He also knew that the red-haired guy was just a follower. If Sun Rongqin didn't want to, he couldn't find young models to come to the villa. Soon, the red-haired guy and Sun Xiaonong arrived at Sun Rongqin's villa. Sun Xiaonong first glanced at the two young models on the bed. There was really nothing to say about them. They had everything he wanted, and their figures were excellent. Actually, Sun Xiaonong sometimes had a whim and found some young models to have sex with. Of course, he did it secretly, so others just didn't know about it. These two were of the highest quality, and old man's son was a little tempted. However, when he saw his dead grandson, Sun Xiaonong's heart suddenly turned cold. He quickly went to check on Sun Rongqin's condition. He couldn't be more dead. There was no hope at all. Moreover, looking at the bloody mess below him, it was obvious that he had died from losing his yang energy. It was exactly the same way as Sun Rongjin's death. Sun Xiaonong took a deep breath and dialed Medicine Master Sun's number. "Uncle, why isn't Rongqin here yet? If he comes too late, the Xia family will be one step ahead of him. It won't be easy for me to operate. I can't just leave all of them, right? I might have to leave some behind. After all, the warrior's market isn't decided by me alone," Medicine Master Sun said quickly after the call was connected. "Medicine Master Sun, hurry back to the Sun family now. Something happened. Rongqin is dead, and he died immediately. Come over and check on him. Sun Xiaonong said anxiously. What? Rongqin is dead? Okay, I'll go right away. Medicine Master's son responded quickly and took a leave. He handed over the job of Medicine Master to Medicine Master Gu, left the warrior's market in a hurry, and rushed back to the Sun family. Chapter 232. When they returned to the Sun family, Medicine Master's son immediately started to perform an autopsy on Sun Rongqin. However, the result was that he had died on horseback. There was nothing wrong with Sun Rongqin's body. He hadn't been poisoned, nor did he have any hidden diseases. In other words, Sun Rongqin's death was sudden, and there was no cause for it. Medicine Master's son's autopsy was quite professional. If there was nothing wrong with him, then there was nothing wrong. Sun Xiaonong was helpless, but there was nothing he could do. However, he wouldn't completely believe the red-haired man's one-sided story. He got someone to suck the two young models clean and sent them to his room. He wanted to interrogate them personally to find out what the situation was. However, the result was basically the same as what the red-haired man said. The two of them came, and then, there was nothing else. Sun Rongqin died. Sun Xiaonong had 2 grandchildren die in 2 days. His heart was filled with unspeakable grievance and grief. Looking at the 2 seductive young models, he directly pushed them down and scolded them. Needless to say, it was really enjoyable. In fact, the 2 young models were afraid of death, so they used all their skills to serve Sun Xiaonong. In the end, after Sun Xiaonong was satisfied, he killed the 2 young models to vent his anger. Sun Rongqin couldn't die in vain. There had to be a scapegoat. After getting rid of the bodies of the 2 young models, Old Man's son convened a family meeting, intending to restudy the future plan. This time, other than Sun Xiaonong's 2 sons, Sun Yuming and Sun Yoli, and Medicine Master's son and Sun Yukai, Sun Xiaonong's youngest daughter, Sun Yumao, was also attending the meeting. In the past, Sun Yumao wasn't allowed to participate in the family meeting. After all, she was a married daughter. Some of the family's core affairs weren't handled by her. She was married to an ordinary small boss. At that time, the Sun family hadn't risen yet, and Medicine Master's son wasn't famous, so they didn't think about marriage. But all along, Sun Xiaonong didn't pay much attention to Sun Yumao and his son-in-law. He gave them a small business and let them handle it. But now it was different. 2 members of the Sun family were dead, and the 2 third generation were too young. It was impossible for them to take over the business. Sun Yuming and Sun Yoli had other matters to take care of. Sun Yuming was responsible for the procurement of medicinal herbs and goods, while Sun Yoli was responsible for the family's other sales business and the cultivation of the family's martial artists. It was impossible for him to take the time to deal with the warrior's market. One had to know that after becoming a supplier to the warrior guild, one of them would have to go to the warrior's market frequently to see what medicinal herbs were scarce and report back. Then, the family would quickly purchase and supply them to make money. As for the cultivators' city square, it was impossible for them to tell you what they were lacking. You had to observe them yourself. If you did not observe them, the other suppliers would. If they disliked you, you would fall behind. Actually, in the cultivators' city square, aside from the Xia clan, there were many other small suppliers that could earn this kind of money. As for those commonly used herbs, they were monopolized by the Xia clan. However, the Sun family was greedy. In addition to fighting for the Xia family's share, the Sun family also wanted to be one of the suppliers to earn money. Back then, the Xia clan was more benevolent. He ate the meat and gave the soup to the others. But now, the Sun family wanted all the soup and didn't want to leave anything behind. Everyone knows about Rongqin's matter, right? Sun Xiaonong's expression was a little haggard. He coughed and started the family meeting. Father, Rongqin had never been sick before. Why did he suddenly die of a sudden illness? Is there a problem with what Red Hair said? At this moment, the saddest person was Sun Yuming. His son had just returned to his position and died in less than a day. He had been happy for nothing. Big brother, what's wrong with Red Hair's words? I checked personally. Rong Qin died of an accident. No one wanted to harm him. He wasn't poisoned, and his body didn't suffer any organic changes. At this time, Medicine Master Sun spoke. Red Hair was introduced by his disciple. Of course, he had to protect Red Hair. Rong Qin, this child, probably died from overexcitement. He had been suppressed for too long. Recently, a good thing suddenly came, and he vented too much. This. Sun Yuming was stunned. He suddenly remembered that although Medicine Master's son was his cousin in name, he had a prominent position now. To put it bluntly, the Sun family's development depended on him. He was doing this to repay Sun Xiaonong's kindness in raising him. However, if you casually doubted his ability and the people he introduced, he would definitely be unhappy. That's right. I also asked those two young models. It's similar to what Red Hair said. Sun Xiaonong waved his hand and said, "You can't blame Red Hair for this. The two young models that Rong Qin asked for weren't cheap. Even if you asked Red Hair to pay for them, he wouldn't be able to afford it." Since Sun Xiaonong had spoken, Sun Yuming didn't dare to say anything else. In fact, he just wanted to find someone to vent his anger on. He also knew that Red Hair probably didn't matter much. Red Hair was neither a warrior nor a medicine master. He didn't have the ability to harm Sun Rong Qin. If he had this ability, he would have been amazing long ago. Why would he still be here as a follower? I was a little too anxious. Sun Yuming sighed. But if Rong Qin also goes, what about the family and the business of the warrior's market? This batch of medicinal herbs worth more than 10 million yuan has been snatched away. We can't gather too many medicinal herbs in a short time. This time, the Xia family will definitely get it first. That can't be helped. Medicine Master Sun said helplessly, "Although I'm the chief pharmacist of the warrior's market, there are still the president, the vice president, and the shopkeeper of the Hong Chamber of Commerce. I can't stop the Xia family from supplying the medicinal herbs. I can only throw out a batch of unqualified ones. The key problem is that after I throw out the medicinal herbs, the Sun family can immediately replace them. If the Sun family doesn't replace them, it will only benefit the other small suppliers. We'll have to work hard for nothing." "That's true." Sun Xiaonong nodded. "Let's do it this time. This time, let the Xia family benefit. Mingming, continue to collect medicinal herbs. But don't worry. In fact, this batch of medicinal herbs is commonly used. Every once in a while, the warrior's market will buy a batch. We just need to catch up with the next batch." Medicine Master Sun said, "That's the only thing we can do now. As for the rest, I'll see if we can tilt the other medicinal herbs that are temporarily lacking. When the announcement is made, the Sun family will be the first to know so that we can purchase in advance and earn some money." "That's good too." Hearing that there was a way to make up for it, Sun Xiaonong nodded. "Yukai, thank you. But I have to find someone to come to the warrior's market every few days. In the market, my phone is monitored. I can't directly inform the Sun family, but I can ask my disciple to secretly hint to them." Medicine Master Sun said, "If it's within the rules, no one will find trouble with me. But if I'm found out, it will be hard for me to explain." "Yukai, don't worry. I won't make it difficult for you. It's already very good that you've reached this step." Sun Xiaonong waved his hand and said, "Next, I want to talk about the issue of appointing individuals. Chen Iafu, you are the son-in-law of the Sun family. You have been idle for a long time. Now it's time to share some of the Sun family's business. After all, the Sun family is not the same as before. The business is getting bigger and bigger. It's better to leave it to your own family." "Ah." Chen Iafu was called to attend the family meeting today. He was very puzzled and didn't know the purpose of calling him. At this time, Sun Xiaonong suddenly announced that he would be participating in the family business. He was surprised and happy. To be honest, all these years, his small business had not made much progress. He had handed it over to others to manage. He wanted to start his own business and make some achievements, but he didn't have any capital. The Sun family also didn't support him, so he didn't have any achievements. He thought that this was it for the rest of his life. He didn't expect that the Sun family would suddenly entrust him with a heavy responsibility. He was very excited. "Father, don't worry. I will do my best. And, in the future, you will be the liaison between our Sun family and the warrior market." Sun Xiaonong said, "You will be closer to Yu Kai in the future. As for that red-haired guy, Yu Kai, don't let him participate for the time being." "I know. I will let him rest for a while." Sun Yu Kai also knew that it was good enough to keep the red-haired guy alive. He followed 2 young masters, but both of them died under his eyes. Although he couldn't be blamed, this kind of bad luck was really unacceptable. As Sun Yu Kai was speaking, his phone rang. It was his disciple. He glanced at it, made a gesture for everyone to be quiet, and picked up the phone. "Hello? What's the matter?" "Master, the Xia family sent medicinal herbs. Medicine Master Gu received them. They should have all passed. I saw that Medicine Master Gu had already sent the medicinal herbs to the warehouse. What should we do?" Medicine Master Sun's disciple was naturally on Medicine Master Sun's side. He said anxiously. "I know." Sun Yu Kai said in a deep voice, "Don't worry about them. I will go back now." "Okay, Master," the disciple said. After hanging up the phone, Medicine Master Sun said, "Uncle, the Xia family has already sent people to send the medicinal herbs. I will go back and see if I can find something. If not, I can only do this." "Well, forget it if you can't." Sun Xiaonong said, "Don't force it. It will affect you again. I know what I'm doing." Medicine Master Sun nodded and left the conference room. Sun Xiaonong sighed and said, "This Xia family can't be finished for a while." Everyone was helpless, but Chen Iafu was very happy. After all, he had taken over part of the Sun family's business. Of course, Sun Yumao was also very happy. Her husband finally had a chance to display his talent. Chapter 233. In Xia Fei's villa, almost everyone from the Xia family had arrived. Xia Chaonan, Xia Chaobei, Xia Huang, and Xia Chaoxin were also there. Previously, Xia Fei had told them that the White Fox hero had succeeded in robbing the Sun family's medicinal herbs. Hence, Xia Chaonan hurriedly sent Xia Huang to the Warriors Guild to deliver the medicinal herbs. Although he did not expect the Warriors Market to buy all of them, it would at least relieve some of the pressure. Unexpectedly, Alchemist's son wasn't there, only Alchemist Gu was there. Alchemist Gu was a very upright person, so he accepted all of the Xia clan's medicinal materials, which made Xia Huang very happy. The Xia family was supposed to hold a family meeting to discuss how to take advantage of this opportunity to develop the Xia family's future. Xia Fei was a very important figure in the Xia family, so she had to attend every family meeting. However, Xia Chaonan thought about it. He was afraid that after Hero White Fox robbed the Sun family, he would come looking for Xia Fei. He wanted to develop the relationship between concubine Xia and swordsman White Fox. How disappointed would swordsman White Fox be if he couldn't see concubine Xia? Therefore, Xia Chaonan brought his family to concubine Xia's villa and held a family meeting there. The Xia emperor came back and excitedly told him about today's events. Xia Chaonan was also very happy. This time, the Xia family had delivered more than 10 million worth of medicinal herbs, which suddenly relieved a lot of pressure on the family. "Xiao Fei, I really have to thank Hero White Fox for this matter." "You must thank him properly," Xia Chaonan said excitedly. Xia Fei was a little embarrassed. "Big brother, something happened." At this time, Xia Chaobei received a short message. His expression changed as he said to Xia Chaonan, "What happened? What's wrong?" Xia Chaonan was taken aback. The Xia family had just experienced a great event. Why did something happen again? The Sun family is in trouble, not ours. Xia Chaobei was stunned when he saw everyone's nervous expression. Only then did he realize that his words were a little vague. He quickly explained, "It's Sun Rongqin." Something happened to Sun Rongqin? What do you mean? Xia Chaonan was puzzled. Wasn't Sun Rongqin robbed by swordsman White Fox? We all know about this, right? It's not a robbery. Ma Feng is dead. Xia Chaobei's expression was very strange at the moment. He put the phone's contents on the table and said to everyone. This was sent by an informant of the Xia family in the Sun family. Every time, he would contact Xia Chaobei. He was responsible for the family's external relations and other matters. What? Xia Chaonan was startled and stood up abruptly. Concubine Xia and Emperor Xia were also stunned. Xia Chaoxin was also stunned. Why did another member of the Sun family die? Was it killed by hero White Fox? Emperor Xia took a deep breath and asked. I don't know, but it must be. Xia Chaobei said, otherwise, do you think there would be such a coincidence? Xia Chaonan also had a lingering fear in his heart. Xiao Fei, this White Fox hero you found is really a ruthless person. He kills people without a trace. You must have a good relationship with him. Try your best to go along with him. Don't go against him, or else, it shouldn't be. Hero White Fox is still quite easygoing. Concubine Xia remembered that she teased Xiao Chen before. It seemed that Xiao Chen didn't do anything to her. That's because he has a good relationship with you. Look at this Sun Rongqin. You only met him once, and he was killed. This is simply a big devil who kills without blinking an eye. The most terrifying thing is that if he wants to kill someone, you can't guard against it at all. He just met you once, and you will die. He kills people without a trace. Xia Chaonan said. I know. I will get along with him. Concubine Xia nodded. Thank him tonight. Emperor Xia looked at his sister with a smile that wasn't a smile. I'm ignoring you. Concubine Xia was a little embarrassed. Xiao Fei, you misunderstood. I'm saying that we can increase his remuneration. I feel that what he did has exceeded the 10 million yuan. He wants to make the Sun family extinct. This trick is more effective than anything else. He simply and crudely killed everyone in the Sun family. Then, the Sun family won't be able to compete with us anymore. They won't even have a chance to make a comeback. Emperor Xia said with a smile. Yeah, this White Fox hero is really ruthless. Every Sun family comes out, he kills them. Then, he kills them again. I think there will be no one left in the Sun family in the future. Xia Chaonan nodded in agreement. However, this is also an opportunity for our Xia family. As long as we can be on good terms with hero White Fox, who will dare to provoke our Xia family in the future? The Sun family is an example. This time, the Sun family was unjust first. Hero White Fox helped us, but if we take the initiative to bully others, I don't think hero White Fox will take action. Concubine Xia shook her head. Oh. Why do you say that? Xia Chaonan was stunned and asked quickly. I don't know. It's just a hunch, Concubine Xia said. Then don't think so much. Our Xia family has always been kind to others. If people don't offend us, we won't offend them. I don't think we will make things difficult for hero White Fox, Xia Chaonan said. Yes. Concubine Xia nodded. Warriors Market. When Sun Yukai rushed to the Warriors Market, he was a step too late. Xia Huang from the Xia family had already left with the Warriors Guild's transfer and completed the handover of the medicinal herbs. This made Sun Yukai a little depressed. Old Gu, have you checked carefully? Are the medicinal herbs sent by the Xia family up to standard? Sun Yukai asked unwillingly. The quality is not bad. It's similar to the quality of the medicinal herbs sent by the Sun family last time, Medicine Master Gu said. Said Medicine Master Gu. In fact, although Medicine Master Gu was an honest and good person, he was not without wisdom. He said this to seal Medicine Master Sun's mouth. Just like the Sun family, Medicine Master Gu couldn't find fault with him, right? Unexpectedly, Medicine Master Sun was still not satisfied. Is that so? Then let's go to the warehouse together. After all, I am the chief medicine master. I have to be responsible for the quality of the medicinal herbs. All right. Seeing Medicine Master Sun's insistence, Medicine Master Gu had no choice but to nod. The two of them walked to the warehouse together. However, although they were medicine masters, they could not enter and exit the warehouse as they pleased. After all, the warehouse was an important place, the core of the market. Those who were not the president and the shopkeeper's trusted aides could not take over this position. Elder Ma, please open the warehouse. I want to check the medicinal herbs sent by the Xie family. I was not here just now. Medicine Master Gu signed for it. However, I am the chief medicine master, so I have to be responsible for the quality of the medicinal herbs. Medicine Master Sun said respectfully to the warehouse manager. One had to know that Elder Ma managed several warehouses in the market. The pills they refined were also kept by Elder Ma. It could be said that Elder Ma's position was not any lower than his. All right. Elder Ma nodded. Medicine Master Sun's request seemed reasonable, so he could not refuse. After opening the warehouse door, Medicine Master Gu brought Medicine Master Sun to the location of the medicinal herbs that the Xie family had provided. He said to Medicine Master Sun, the medicinal herbs are here. Please check them. All right, let me see. Actually, Sun Yukai wanted to find a few medicinal herbs that were inferior to the Sun families. Even if he found one or two, he could use it as a pretext to deduct a portion of the deposit from the Xie family. One had to know that although the Xie family could receive payment from the Warrior Guild every time, there was always a sum of money that had not been paid by the Warrior Guild. It could be considered a deposit. If there were any problems with the supply in the future, the deposit could also be deducted. The next time they supplied the goods, they had to make up for the deposit. Otherwise, they would not be able to continue supplying the goods. This was the most effective way that Medicine Master Sun could think of. However, he was disappointed that the quality of the Xie family's medicinal herbs was higher. He could not find any inferior goods. Not even the inferior goods that the Sun family provided. After checking for a long time, he did not find anything wrong. Medicine Master Sun could only give up. He turned around and was about to leave with a black face. However, after taking 2 steps, he pointed at another pile of medicinal herbs that had not been sorted out and asked curiously, which family supplied these medicinal herbs? When did they get here? Why are there so many of them? I don't know. I didn't take over this. Medicine Master Gu shook his head. Medicine Master Sun was a little puzzled. He walked over to take a look, and his face immediately changed. This was because he had recognized the source of this batch of medicinal herbs. However, to confirm his guess, he carefully checked these medicinal herbs again. After checking, his face became even uglier. These were clearly the medicinal herbs that were robbed from the Sun family in the morning. On top of them, there was a unique mark on the rope that the Sun family used to tie the medicinal herbs. Moreover, after this batch of medicinal herbs was purchased, Medicine Master Sun checked the Sun family again and threw out the medicinal herbs that definitely could not be counted as qualified. He let the Sun family sell them through other pharmacies and kept the qualified ones. Therefore, Sun Yukai was very familiar with these medicinal herbs. These were definitely the medicinal herbs that were kidnapped in the morning. How did they end up in the warehouse of the Warriors Market? Which supplier had the guts to do such a thing? Weren't they afraid of the Sun family and Medicine Master Sun's revenge? Seeing that his own medicinal herbs were here, Medicine Master Sun was immediately furious. He quickly walked to the warehouse supervisor, Old Ma, and said to him, Old Ma, who sent this batch of medicinal herbs? Why didn't Medicine Master Gu and I know about it? Aren't they looking down on us pharmacists? If something happens to a pharmacist, who can take responsibility? Which batch? Old Ma asked calmly. The batch over there. Medicine Master Sun said as he pointed at the Sun family's medicinal herbs. That was directly arranged by the higher-ups. It belongs to the Hong Consortium's unified allocation of goods. Why would they need to inform you? Old Ma curled his lips and said calmly. This Medicine Master Sun really thought too highly of himself. These were medicinal herbs that shopkeeper Tai had personally sent over. What? Arranged by the higher-ups? Unified allocation of goods by the Hong Consortium? That's impossible. Medicine Master Sun cried out in shock. Chapter 234. How could he believe it? This was obviously the stolen goods that the Sun family had lost. How could it be arranged by the Hong Chamber of Commerce? If you don't believe me, you can go and ask Manager Tai yourself. You can also ask the guild leaders of the Warriors Guild. I am just a warehouse manager. I cannot answer such a profound question, Senior Ma said indifferently. Ha! Alchemist Sun's expression froze. How would he dare to ask? Wasn't that overstepping his authority? He was a chief apothecary. Although it sounded very awesome, it still depended on who he was in front of. In front of Manager Tai and the other presidents and vice presidents of the Hong Chamber of Commerce, he was nothing. Thinking of this, Sun Yukai took a deep breath and calmed himself down. I'm sorry, Old Ma. I'm doing this for the good of the martial artists' market. I'm afraid that the quality of the herbs might not be good. Since it's arranged by the higher-ups, there shouldn't be a problem. I'll take my leave first. All right. Old Ma's expression became much better after hearing Alchemist Sun's explanation. He nodded. Alchemist Sun didn't dare to say that the herbs were stolen from the Sun family. Wouldn't that be questioning his superiors? Furthermore, Senior Ma did not know about this. Saying this would be akin to slandering the higher-ups behind their backs. Senior Ma did not dare to do that. Apothecary Go felt strange about Apothecary Sun's actions, but he didn't think much about it. He shook his head and followed Apothecary Sun out of the warehouse. After Alchemist Sun returned, he did not communicate with anyone else. He directly left the Warriors Market and drove back to the Sun family. He had to tell Sun Xiaonong about such an important matter as soon as possible. Moreover, it was a matter of great importance. He couldn't speak carelessly over the phone. If he was monitored, it wouldn't be good. Sun Xiaonong felt strange about Medicine Master Sun's return. Could it be that he knew the Sun clan hadn't finished their clan meeting, so he came back to attend? However, it was almost over now. What was the use of Medicine Master Sun's return? However, Sun Xiaonong still respected Medicine Master Sunday. When he saw him enter the meeting room, he said, "Yukai, you're back. Let's continue the meeting." "Uncle, let's talk about the meeting later. I have something important to tell you." After Sun Yukai sat down, he waved his hand and said, "We have news about the medicinal herbs that were robbed this morning." "There's news? Found it? Could it be that someone had gone to the martial artists' market to dispose of stolen goods? This is simply too daring." Sun Yuming guessed after listening. "That's right, I did find it, and it was also in the Warriors Market's warehouse. However, it wasn't me who took it." Medicine Master Sun nodded and said seriously, "Is that the one with the surname Go?" Sun Yoli frowned. He also knew that there was Apothecary Gu in the martial artists' market. Apothecary Ge's alchemy skills were not inferior to Apothecary Sun's. He was a potential competitor of Apothecary Sunday, it's not him either. According to Old Ma, who's in charge of the warehouse, it's the higher-ups' idea. At this point, Medicine Master Sun had a strange expression on his face. In other words, this is the limit of my abilities. I don't have the authority and I don't dare to ask my superiors. What? From the top? Sun Xiaonong's eyes widened. "Yukai, you mean, this herb was snatched by the people from the Warriors Market Square or the Warriors Guild?" Medicine Master Sun nodded and said, "That's hard to say, but I don't think Old Ma would lie to me. There's no need for him to lie to me about this kind of thing. He wouldn't dare to say anything that was arranged by the higher-ups. Which higher-ups? Did he say? Sun Xiaonong frowned and asked. No, he only said that it was shopkeeper Tai who personally informed him. However, shopkeeper Tai is in charge of the warriors' market. However, the higher-ups could be shopkeeper Tai, or the Warriors Guild's president or vice president, Medicine Master Sun said. The Warriors Guild's vice president. Sun Xiaonong pondered for a moment and slammed the table, F***CK. I know, it must be the vice president with the surname Chen. The vice president with the surname Chen? Qin Jinpeng's father, Qin Huanling? Sun Yuming also thought of this person at once. The Sun family was very familiar with the affairs of these aristocratic families. Therefore, they were able to connect the dots directly. Yes, didn't they say that the batch of herbs might have been snatched by Xiao Chen's underling, Qin Jinpeng? Doesn't this make sense? Sun Yuli also nodded and said, Qin Jinpeng and Qin Huanling are from the same family. What a good scheme. The son robbed the father to dispose of the stolen goods, and he even took the high-level route so that the Sun family could only suffer in silence and not dare to ask about it. If that's the case, then it really is possible. Medicine Master Sun thought for a moment and suddenly realized. So this was the relationship between the two families. However, even if he knew that it was Qin Huanling's doing, there was nothing he could do. How could he, a chief medicine master, dare to go against the vice president? The vice president was a high-level leader similar to the shopkeeper. He could only be regarded as a middle-level manager. Yukai, according to what you said, if we go to Qin Huanling to reason with him, is there any chance that he will return the herbs to me or give us some money as compensation? Sun Xiaonong thought for a moment and asked, for example, now that we have something on him, if we report it to the president of the Warrior Guild and shopkeeper Tai of the Warrior Market, will he be able to bear the consequences? Uncle, you're underestimating President Chen of the Warrior Guild. Although he can't cover the sky with one hand, he still has a lot of power. When he is punished, as long as he doesn't step down, our Sun family will suffer in the future. Medicine Master Sun smiled bitterly. But, this is robbery. Will the Warrior Guild and the Warrior Market tolerate them? Sun Xiaonong was a little annoyed. In this matter, both sides have their reasons. Qin Jinpeng can completely say that he is standing up for the boss. He is loyal and righteous. Medicine Master Sun said helplessly, in the end, this matter will become our Sun family's son Rongjin being a bully. How do you think the Warrior Guild will deal with that? I'm afraid they will be punished 50 times each, right? Moreover, the cause is our Sun family, and we are the ones who filed the complaint first. When the time comes, do you think we will be better off? Yukai, what you said makes sense. Sun Xiaonong carefully thought about the cause and effect of this matter. In the end, the Sun family might really have to blame it on themselves. There was really no other way. Moreover, this matter is just a guess. Rongqin is already dead, and dead men tell no tales. Red hair is not our Sun family, so if we say it out, the effect will be much weaker. Sun Yukai said, therefore, the most important thing now is to see if we can start with Qin Jinpeng. First, investigate whether he is the one who did this. If he is, since the Qin family likes to play dirty, we will also play dirty. When the time comes, we will give him an accidental death. Oh? Then can't Qin Huanling investigate when the time comes? Sun Xiaonong was stunned. It was true that he wanted to seek justice, but he had never thought of killing Qin Jinpeng. After all, Qin Jinpeng was the son of Vice Chairman Qin, such a high and mighty existence. It's true that Qin Huanling has a lot of power in the Warrior Guild, but he's just a newly appointed vice chairman. He doesn't have any trusted aides, so it's impossible for him to investigate the truth. Medicine Master Sun sneered. Plus, we need to create an accident. Didn't their Qin Jinkuan die in a car accident? But, isn't it too much of a coincidence to have another car accident? Sun Xiaonong was a little tempted. To be honest, they clearly had the upper hand and could suppress the Xia family, but in the end, the herbs were snatched away. This was really F***ket up. Rongqin and Rongjin both died on horseback. Isn't that a coincidence? Sun Yukai smiled faintly. There are too many coincidences in this world. Moreover, the car accident is an example. We can let him die in a robbery. Yukai, are you sure that Chen Huanling won't find out the truth? Sun Xiaonong asked. If Chen Huanling was the vice chairman of the warrior guild for a period of time and trained some trusted aides to gather information, then it might be possible. But he only took the position this year. Hee. Sun Yukai laughed. If he didn't become the vice chairman, he would be nothing. Okay, let's do it. Sun Xiaonong was very unhappy that he had lost 2 grandsons. He blamed the accident on Chen Jinpeng. Yu Ming, Yuli, put down your work and investigate Chen Jinpeng to see if he is suspicious. Yes. Sun Yuming and Sun Yuli replied. Killing Chen Jinpeng could be considered as a form of revenge for their dead sons. Medicine Master Sun couldn't stay for too long. After the meeting, he hurried back to the warriors' market. The Sun family, on the other hand, began to move. What surprised Sun Xiaonong was that very soon, the people below came back with news. The Volkswagen that Chen Jinpeng was driving was the one that Sun Rongjin had lost. Although the license plate had been changed, according to the investigation, the license plate was fake. It was the same model of car from the Chen family group. The car's identification code revealed the car's real identity. Of course, few people would notice these small details. Damn, it really is Chen Jinpeng. Sun Xiaonong slammed the table angrily. This time, he was completely sure that the person who had rescued Kerlin from the villa was Xiao Chen's underling. It was most likely Chen Jinpeng. Otherwise, why would Chen Jinpeng be driving the car? Today's robbery was also in this car. Thinking about the higher-ups arrangement that Medicine Master Sun had mentioned, Sun Xiaonong was even more certain this time. Father, when should we do it? Sun Yuming hated Chen Jinpeng very much. In his opinion, if Chen Jinpeng hadn't robbed his son Sun Rongqin's medicinal herbs, Sun Rongqin wouldn't have gone home to vent his anger on the little model. These were all related, so he was the most anxious. Of course, the sooner the better. Yukai is right. Let's create a robbery. Sun Xiaonong said, in this case, Yu Ming, you take Guardian Zhao with you. He is a stage 6 inner force warrior. It's enough for him to kill Chen Jinpeng. Sun Xiaonong was also ruthless. He didn't make a move, but once he did, he wanted to kill Chen Jinpeng with one blow. Chapter 235. Therefore, he sent out the strongest martial artist. After all, Chen Jinpeng was also a martial artist. Yes, father. Should I act according to the circumstances? Sun Yuming nodded and asked. Yes, it's best to find a place with few people. Find a chance in the next few days. Sun Xiaonong nodded. Don't do it in a crowded place. I understand. Sun Yuming was not a fool. I won't bring trouble to the Sun family. Xiao Chen finished the business at hand, put away the medicinal materials that he exchanged for a cart of medicinal materials, and rushed to the school. However, on the way to the school, to Xiao Chen's surprise, he received a call from Miss Cheng. Hey, Missy, what's the matter? He was trembling with fear. He didn't know if yesterday's incident was over or not. Although Xiao Chen felt that yesterday's incident was a bit innocent, touching was touching. And, if there was a chance, he wanted to touch again. Xiao Chen, where are you? Cheng Menjing's voice was a little anxious. I'm outside. I'll be at the school soon. What's wrong? Xiao Chen asked. Then you don't have to come to the school. Go directly to the first city hospital. Tang Tang suddenly fainted. Bebe and I took her to the hospital. Cheng Menjing said. Although the relationship between Cheng Menjing and Tang Tang was not very good, they had eaten together. Besides, Tang Tang was related to Xiao Chen, so she couldn't just ignore it. Seeing Tang Tang fainted on the roadside of the school, she hurried to the hospital with Jean Bebe. After an emergency examination and infusion, Tang Tang's condition stabilized. Then Ching Menjing remembered to call Xiao-Chen. What? Tang Tang fainted? Xiao-Chen was suddenly shocked. Why did she faint? Didn't she recover from the cold before? Did she get tired from selling fried dough sticks on the morning street for the past 2 days? Although Tang Tang used to sell fried dough sticks on the morning market street, the number of customers at that time was not as large as it was now. Now because of Xiao-Chen, the number of customers had skyrocketed, so Tang Tang's workload had increased a lot, so it was very likely that she was tired and sick. Thinking of this, Xiao-Chen suddenly felt a little guilty. After rushing to the first hospital of Soming City, Xiao-Chen saw Jean Bébé's iconic Nouveau Riche Panamera at the entrance of the hospital, with the words, Nouveau Riche Jean Bébé's car, plastered on the back. I'm here. Where are you now? How is Tang Tang? As soon as Xiao-Chen entered the hospital, he called Ching Menjing. We are in the ICU on the 7th floor, Ward 715. Ching Menjing said, Tang Tang is not out of danger yet. What? Critical period? Didn't he just faint? Xiao-Chen was a little stunned. How could he be in a critical state? No matter how tired Tang Tang was, she wouldn't be in danger. Let's talk about it when you come. Ching Menjing couldn't explain it clearly on the phone. Okay. Xiao-Chen nodded and glanced around. There were too many people waiting for the elevator, so Xiao-Chen quickly went up the stairs and ran all the way to the 7th floor in one go. He arrived at the door of Ward 715 and pushed the door open. Shoo! Seeing that Xiao-Chen was about to speak, Ching Menjing immediately made a shushing gesture and then said softly, Let's talk outside. Xiao-Chen nodded and walked to Tang Tang's bed. He saw several tubes inserted into Tang Tang's body, and there were several computer screens beside her. He didn't know what kind of data they were showing. Tang Tang looked very haggard and pale. Xiao-Chen didn't know why. He took a deep breath and walked out of the ward. Ching Menjing also walked out of the ward with Xiao-Chen, but she didn't see Jean Bébé. She asked, Where's Bébé? We didn't bring so much money before, so the hospital didn't allow us to go through the hospitalization procedures. Jean Bébé directly called Grandpa Jean. As a result, their dean came down and is in the specialist room over there. He is analyzing Tang Tang's condition. Let's go and have a look together. Ching Menjing sighed. Okay. What's wrong with Tang Tang? Asked Xiao-Chen. I don't know. But something inside her body must be acting up. Ching Menjing said, Let's go and have a look together. Okay. Xiao-Chen also knew that Miss Ching didn't know medical skills. She wouldn't explain it clearly even if he asked her. So he went to the specialist room not far away with Miss Ching. Miss Ching, you're here. In the specialist room, a middle-aged man at the head saw Ching Menjing coming in and immediately stood up. He was the dean of this hospital. Obviously, he had already known Ching Menjing's identity. She was the eldest daughter of the Ching family and the eldest daughter of the Jean family. Although Tang Tang was abandoned by the Tang family, she was still a member of the Tang family. She had many powerful identities, but she was turned away at the door. The dean was a little scared. How is she? Xiao-Chen asked directly. Miss Tang's condition is not very good. The dean glanced at Xiao-Chen. Seeing that Ching Menjing didn't say anything, he said. Although he didn't know Xiao-Chen, since he came in with Ching Menjing, his identity was obviously not simple. Besides, Ching Menjing didn't object to his words. What do you mean by not very good? What's wrong with her? Xiao-Chen asked. The specific situation is like this. Miss Tang had a strange disease before. At that time, the Tang family also brought her to me for treatment, but I couldn't do anything about it. The dean slowly said, later, the Tang family looked for doctors everywhere. Finally, they met a great pharmacist who prepared several medicinal materials for her. However, when she took these medicinal materials, it was a kind of treatment with poison. The previous problems in her body were suppressed, but new problems arose. These medicinal materials were like hormones, which caused Miss Tang's endocrine imbalance, so that her weight increased rapidly. I know that. But what's wrong with her now? Xiao Chen nodded, indicating that he roughly understood what the dean said. The problem now is that the problem that was suppressed before has become a problem again. The dean said, she used to have a kind of toxin in her body. This toxin doesn't enter her body through the outside world, but is produced by her own secretion. So the medicinal materials that were suppressed before are not enough to suppress it anymore. I see. Then, can't she take some of those medicinal materials to suppress it? Xiao Chen asked. The medicinal materials that are suppressed are also poisonous. If you want to take them, you must be very precise. Otherwise, the problem will be bigger. The dean smiled bitterly and said, furthermore, it's hard to say whether her body can withstand the medicinal ingredients and whether there will be any backlash. Although I'm also a pharmacist, my rank is relatively low, so I don't dare to try in this aspect. Right now, we're just keeping her alive, that is to say, there is no other way. Xiao Chen frowned. There is nothing I can do. I'm sorry. The dean spread out his hands and said. Xiao Chen didn't blame him. After all, the dean's ability was limited, and he couldn't force him to do anything. However, Xiao Chen was really in a dilemma now. He thought that Tang Tang was tired, but now it seemed that it was not the case. However, it was also difficult to find the pharmacist who prepared the medicine. It was the Tang family who found him. Now that Tang Tang was abandoned by the Tang family would not care about her life or death. Where could he find the pharmacist now? The Tang family didn't care. What about Yu Xiaochuan? Perhaps Yu Xiaochuan didn't care either. If Tang Tang died, it would be done once and for all. His engagement would be automatically dissolved. However, the only person that Xiao Chen could think of to consult was Yu Xiaochuan. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen dialed Yu Xiaochuan's phone. Oh, it's Xiao Chen. What can I do for you? Yu Xiaochuan had been thinking about how to find the Xianin woman with the characteristics of the blood these 2 days. According to the introduction, this kind of Xianin woman could only be found in the blood test that had just been drawn. After a long time, the activity of this characteristic would weaken, and it would not be seen. Therefore, he couldn't go to the blood bank to find it. However, where could he draw the blood of a large number of girls? Yu Xiaochuan had been thinking for several days, but he couldn't come up with a good way. Here's the thing. Tang Tang is sick again. It's the previous disease. You should know about it, right? Xiao Chen said directly. Oh. I know. So, Tang Tang is dying? Yu Xiaochuan couldn't help but feel excited. If Tang Tang died this time, then he could completely get rid of Tang Tang. No, it's not a problem to maintain her life, but she may be in a vegetative state in the future. Xiao Chen said, you also understand, young Master Kun. Although I like Tang Tang a little, it's meaningless for me to come to a vegetative state. I'm afraid I can't complete the task you gave me. What? Vegetative state? Yu Xiaochuan couldn't help but curse in his heart. Damn it. She didn't die, but she was still in a vegetative state. Now, he still couldn't get rid of the engagement. If Tang Tang became a vegetative state, he would be even more stressed. He was a gentleman. Now that Tang Tang was in a vegetative state, it was even more impossible for him to abandon her. Previously, he had found an excuse that Xiao Chen liked Tang Tang, so he could get rid of Tang Tang. But now that Tang Tang was in a vegetative state and Xiao Chen didn't want her anymore, wouldn't he have to pick her up? Thinking of this, Yu Xiaochuan was really depressed. He was very happy to get the chrysanthemum book in the past few days, but now there was such a mess. In desperation, he had to say, Xiao Chen, don't worry. I know the pharmacist who prescribed the medicine for Tang Tang. So, I'll contact you first, and then let him contact you to help you prepare a medicinal material. What do you think? Okay, but I don't have money. Is it a lot of money? Asked Xiao Chen. Don't worry about money. I'll take care of it for you. Yu Xiaochuan said, well, wait for my news. Okay, young Master Kun, I'll wait for your good news. Xiaochen breathed a sigh of relief and hung up the phone. Chapter 236. Okay, I'll wait for your news. Xiaochen hung up the phone and breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that he had successfully fooled Yu Xiaochuan. Otherwise, this guy would have hoped that Tang Tang would die. Now that Tang Tang was alive, he wanted to save her as soon as possible. Elder Heaven Ancestor, do you know about her situation? Do you think that with the ability of us cultivators, we can save her? Xiaochen asked in his heart. Don't flatter me. With the ability of cultivators, they can definitely save her. For the great divines, they are omnipotent. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, but you can't do it with your current strength. I'm just a soul, and I can't use my original strength. Can the dregs do it? Xiaochen asked. Yes, but it can't cure the root cause. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, moreover, it must be the dregs of the medicines she has taken recently, and you need to add a medicinal material. What do you mean by treating the symptoms but not the root cause? Xiaochen was relieved when he heard that there was a way. Whether there was any news from Yu Xiaochuan or not, he was not worried. Before, her treatment method was to fight poison with poison. She used the medicine to suppress the toxins that were originally secreted in her body. This is also one of the ways to treat the symptoms but not the root cause. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, the method I mentioned is to expel the toxins secreted in her body and the poison that was used to suppress it. In this way, she will not have a problem in the short term. But after a long time, the toxins will still be secreted in her body. What if I keep taking this kind of dregs? Xiaochen asked after listening. Yes, but the effect will be weakened each time. But as your level increases, you can use your dregs later, Elder Heaven Ancestor said. That's good. As long as there was a way, Xiaochen was relieved. At this time, Yu Xiaochuan called back, Master Kun, is there any news? I say, Xiaochen, did you offend Medicine Master Sun? Yu Xiaochuan was very depressed. He called Medicine Master Sun, who had prescribed the medicine for Tang Tang. Medicine Master Sun had agreed before, but when he heard that he wanted to contact Xiaochen, he directly refused. He would not accept the business no matter how much money it was. While feeling depressed, Yu Xiaochuan hurriedly gave Xiaochen a call. The one who started the trouble had to be the one who started it. Since Xiaochen was the one who caused the trouble, Yu Xiaochuan could not help him. He could only ask Xiaochen what was going on and let Xiaochen beg Medicine Master Sun himself. Medicine Sun? Which Medicine Master Sun? Xiaochen was stunned by Yu Xiaochuan's words. It's the martial artist market's Medicine Master Sunday. You don't know him? Yu Xiaochuan was also stunned. Why did it sound like Xiaochen did not know Medicine Master Sun? What does it have to do with me, Xiaochen? When did I offend him? I don't know either. From what he said, it seems like you instigated your underlings to have a conflict with his family. Yu Xiaochuan didn't understand, but he got the gist of it. Xiaochen, it doesn't sound like a big conflict. What's going on? My little brother? Do I even have underlings? Xiaochen retorted. Ugh. That was before? Yu Xiaochuan was also a little confused. Yeah, where was Xiaochen's underling? Forget it, let's not care about him. I'll think of another way. In the past, my father left me a medicinal pill. I heard that it can cure hundreds of poisons. I'll find it for her to try, Xiaochen said. Elixir? Cure all poisons? Is this for real? There's such an amazing pill? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. He wanted to ask if that thing was useful. Don't eat randomly and cause problems. But thinking about it carefully, if you eat to death, then everything will be fine. That's even better. If she was cured, then he didn't have to worry about her anymore. Xiaochen could continue to be with her. If it was still like this, then it didn't matter. He would find a way to beg Medicine Master Sun. So, he said, okay, then you try it. If it doesn't work, contact me. I'll introduce you to Medicine Master Sunday. You can talk to him, apologize, and end the matter. Okay, I'll try it first. If it doesn't work, I'll call you. Xiao Chen said. Yu Xiaochuan hung up the phone, shook his head, and continued to study his chrysanthemum treasure book and Lady of Mysterious Een. As for Xiao Chen, he returned to the specialist room. He glanced at Miss Cheng and said, Menjing, come with me. What's the matter? Looking at Xiao Chen, Cheng Menjing recalled what happened yesterday. She was immediately annoyed. If they were not in public, she would have kicked him. She walked out of the specialist room with Xiao Chen. Jean Bebe also followed them sneakily like a little spy. However, to prevent Cheng Menjing and Xiao Chen from seeing them, she hid behind the screen at the door and craned her head. Bebe, what are you doing? Come out if you want to. Cheng Menjing discovered Jean Bebe eventually. Well, I was afraid that cousin Menjing and her husband would come out to play SM. I didn't want to disturb you. Jean Bebe grinned and crawled out from behind the screen. Play your *SS. Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Bebe. Play my *SS? Is it the legendary writing on the head? Jean Bebe said excitedly. Oh. I got it. Usually, it's in the hospital in the films. Cousin Menjing must want to have a try, too. Jean Bebe. What unhealthy stuff did you watch this time? Cheng Menjing said angrily. Didn't I watch it with cousin Menjing? Jean Bebe asked in confusion. You. Cheng Menjing was greatly embarrassed. She suddenly thought of something and blushed. She snorted and said, I don't want to argue with you. Xiao Chen, what can I do for you? Xiao Chen found it a little funny. If she had seen it, so be it. In this era, information was so advanced. It was not strange for a girl to have seen that kind of movie. Looking at Cheng Menjing's expression, it seemed like she did not want to admit it. In fact, Xiao Chen certainly would not object to it. The young lady had watched too many movies and gained experience after marriage. He had benefited from it, too. Well, he was not her fiancé anymore. Xiao Chen shook his head. He was a bit confused just now. Go through the discharge procedures for her. I can treat her, said Xiao Chen. You? Cheng Menjing was dazed. Don't forget who treated Grandpa Jin's wounds, said Xiao Chen. Oh, I told you that my cousin-in-law is very awesome. Let's get out of the hospital. Jean Bebe sniffed. Just now, I was going to take her to the villa and call my cousin-in-law to ask him to come back for treatment, but cousin Menjing insisted on going to the hospital. I thought that she just caught a cold or something. I didn't know that it would be a serious problem. Cheng Menjing, however, said, only serious problems require my servant to deal with them. Minor problems are not worth dealing with. You are really good at making up stories, said Jean Bebe. What did you say? Cheng Menjing looked at Jean Bebe and said angrily, believe it or not, I will blacklist you. I will never let you go to my house again. Oh. I didn't say anything. Jean Bebe covered her mouth with her hand. Jean Bebe went to the dean and went through the admission procedures. She didn't say much but only said that she had found an awesome pharmacist and planned to have a look at him. Of course, the dean wouldn't say no. Besides, he couldn't treat her here. If something really happened to her, he wouldn't be able to explain it to the two ladies of the Jean family and the Qing family. After sending us home, you can go to school, said Xiao Chen. Can you really treat her? Asked Cheng Menjing after a moment of hesitation. Yes, no problem. Xiao Chen nodded. Great. Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe sent Xiao Chen home and then left. Xiao Chen put Tang Tang in the BMW X5 first. Then, he took the dregs of the decoction and drove to Hongzhu's pharmacy. After parking the car at the entrance, Xiao Chen entered the pharmacy. Hongzhu was a little surprised to see Xiao Chen. Why are you back? Are you here to give me money again? At this moment, Hongzhu's eyes were full of yen and dollar. No, I'm here to buy medicine. Do you have heavenly purity grass? Asked Xiaochen. According to the elder heaven ancestor, he needed a kind of medicine called heavenly purity grass. Heavenly purity grass? Hongzhu was a little surprised. Then, she said, although this kind of medicine is not very precious, it's not very useful. I don't have it in stock. If you can wait, I can make it for you. A few days? I'm a little anxious. Xiaochen didn't know how long she could hold on. If you're anxious, go to the warrior's market and buy one. You should know where the warrior's market is, right? Hongzhu didn't care. Selling a medicine would not make much money from Xiaochen. She didn't want to waste too much money. Oh. You have it in the warrior's market? Thank you. Xiaochen nodded and turned around to leave. Hey, little brother, are you leaving just like that? Don't you want to chat with the cute big sister Hongzhu for a while? Hongzhu's charming voice sounded behind Xiaochen. What do you want to talk about? Asked Xiaochen. What do you want to do with heavenly purity grass? Asked Hongzhu. Why do you ask? Xiaochen asked. Hongzhu was slightly taken aback. Then, she said, forget it, it's boring. I'm just asking. Big sister can't be curious. Alright, I'll be leaving first. Xiaochen turned around and prepared to leave. Then don't forget about big sister if you have any other cheap medicine or good things to do. Hongzhu called out from behind. Okay. Xiaochen said. It turned out that Hongzhu was addicted to receiving stolen goods. He drove all the way to the warrior's market. Because he was worried about Tang Tang, Xiaochen drove very fast. When he was about to reach the warrior's guild, he came out of a fork in the road. There was only one road left. However, a Porsche Cayenne came from another fork in the road. Xiaochen stepped on the accelerator and drove into the road leading to the warrior's guild. However, after the Porsche Cayenne followed him, it seemed to be a little annoyed that Xiaochen had taken the initiative to cut into its lane. It kept flashing its headlights behind Xiaochen and kept honking its horn. Is this guy sick? Xiaochen frowned and pulled the car to the side. He wanted to let the guy pass first. Of course, with Xiaochen's driving skills, it wouldn't be a problem to race with him for one lap. However, Tang Tang was currently in the car. Xiaochen didn't want to do anything dangerous, so he took a step back. Chapter 237. However, who would have thought that after the Cayenne overtook Xiaochen, it did not continue to accelerate. Instead, it stopped in front of Xiaochen's car for a moment before continuing to drive forward. This action made Xiaochen speechless. However, with Xiaochen's driving skills, it was unlikely that he would crash into it. Xiaochen really did not understand how he had provoked him. Was it wrong for him to be one step faster than him? However, Xiaochen did not have any thoughts of revenge. He planned to wait for him to leave before leaving. However, the car in front obviously had no intention of letting Xiaochen go. When Xiaochen began to drive, he also began to slow down. Then, he suddenly braked in front of Xiaochen and quickly stepped on the accelerator to leave. This repeated a few times. If it was not for Xiaochen's good driving skills, he would have crashed into him. Of course, if it was someone else, it would be hard to say. Was this person crazy? However, with the principle of not causing trouble, Xiaochen tolerated it. After all, the person who came to the warrior guild was likely to be a powerful martial artist. Xiaochen did not want to have a conflict with this kind of person. Xiaochen's current identity was Xiaochen, not the white fox. He could not kill whoever he wanted. Therefore, he was played by the person in front of him all the way to the entrance of the warrior's market. Xiaochen did not expect that this person was also going to the warrior's market. After he parked the car, Xiaochen found another place to park the car. Then, he got out of the car and prepared to buy the sky-clearing grass. He did not care about the Porsche Cayenne's owner. However, from the corner of his eyes, Xiao Chen saw that the Porsche Cayenne's owner was a man in his 40s. He was a Stage 1 inner force martial artist. This made Xiao Chen very speechless. You're just a Stage 1 inner force martial artist, yet you're still acting tough in front of me? If you were to meet another person with superior strength, they might beat you to death and you wouldn't even be able to reason with them. If you provoke them, the Warriors Guild will not uphold justice for you. Kid, did I say you could leave? The man blocked Xiao Chen's path. Are you sick? Xiao Chen couldn't help but curse. If it wasn't that he couldn't kill on the spot, Xiao Chen would really kill him. Kid, you're pretty arrogant, huh? Are you that stupid good-for-nothing young master of the Xiao clan? The man took a closer look and saw Xiao Chen's appearance clearly. He immediately asked. Xiao Chen didn't expect this person to give him so many titles. He really didn't know what to say. Who are you? Huh, you'll be scared to death if I tell you. The man laughed loudly. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm from the Sun family. Sun family? Xiao Chen was stunned. Could it be the Sun family from the neighboring city? I wonder if this is Sun Rong. However, the age difference between him, Sun Rongjin, and Sun Rongqin was really big. That's right. I'm the son-in-law of the Sun family. My name is Chen Iafu. Remember it. Today was Chen Iafu's first day in office. He was acting bad *SS, so he subconsciously acted bad *SS on the road. Previously, he acted bad *SS on the road, but most of them were ordinary people. Their family background naturally couldn't be compared with the Sun family, so he didn't act bad *SS. When he reached the small road in front of the Warrior Guild, he was also used to acting bad *SS. When he arrived at the Warrior Market, Chen Iafu suddenly remembered that he seemed to be acting bad *SS with someone who also came to the Warrior Market. He couldn't help but feel a little scared. Will this person fix me after getting off the car? Although I'm a Stage 1 inner force martial artist, I'm only at Stage 1. I heard that this Warrior Market often has Stage 3 and above martial artists. Therefore, after Chen Iafu got off the car, he didn't leave. Instead, he quietly watched the person coming out of the BMW X5. If the person who came out directly rushed to fight, then Chen Iafu would admit his mistake. However, after Xiao Chen got off the car, it seemed that he tolerated this matter, so Chen Iafu suddenly became bad *SS. Especially after he recognized Xiao Chen, he became even more bad *SS. He also attended the meeting before and knew that the medicinal herbs were snatched by Xiao Chen's underling, Qin Jinpeng. He couldn't afford to provoke Qin Jinpeng, but Xiao Chen was trash, and he could trample on him like a toy. Xiao Chen couldn't cultivate his inner force, so Chen Iafu wasn't afraid that Xiao Chen could turn the situation around. Moreover, Qin Jinpeng was also going to die. The family had already sent a Stage 6 inner force martial artist to kill Qin Jinpeng. At that time, even if he trampled on Xiao Chen badly, Chen Iafu wasn't afraid that Qin Jinpeng would come back for revenge. Besides, he only came to the Warrior Market today to take a look. When he escorted the medicinal herbs over next time, Chen Iafu would apply to Sun Xiaonong to send more guards to protect him. This was also to prevent people from robbing the medicinal herbs. Therefore, Chen Iafu wasn't afraid of Xiao Chen at all. Oh, I'll remember. Xiao Chen nodded and said, I'm sorry, I have to go buy something. Please move aside. Pa. However, Chen Iotafor slapped Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen subconsciously stretched out his hand to block it, but his arm was slapped out of shape. The joint of his elbow was bent. Ah. Xiao Chen screamed, but his eyes flashed with coldness. Originally, he wanted to keep Chen Iafu, but now it seemed that it was unnecessary. Xiao Chen's left arm was bent, and his right arm, subconsciously, hit back and forth in front of him. It hit Chen Iafu a few times, but Chen Iafu didn't care at all. Trash is trash. It's like a mosquito scratching an itch. Chen Iafu looked at Xiao Chen's miserable appearance, and his heart was greatly satisfied. If I go back and tell Sun Xiaonong about my great achievements, I guess he will praise me, right? Thinking of this, Chen Aifu snorted coldly, this is a lesson for you. Don't go against our Sun family if you have nothing better to do. Otherwise, you will die very miserably. The conflict only happened in a flash. It only took a minute. Chen Aifu was also afraid of attracting other people to watch, so he left after leaving some harsh words. Xiao Chen waited for him to leave before he entered the warrior's market with his left arm hanging. The dislocation on his arm, as long as Xiao Chen circulated the mantra, it would be a matter of minutes. However, he still had to pretend at this time. When he came to the counter selling elixirs, Xiao Chen said directly, do you have sky clear grass? I want to buy one. Yes, 40 points or 50,000 yuan, the shop assistant said. Sky clear grass was one of the more common medicinal herbs, so the difference between points and cash wasn't particularly big. Of course, 50,000 yuan was a sky-high price for the previous Xiao Chen, but the current Xiao Chen didn't care about it. He nodded, swiped his card, took the sky clear grass, and left the warrior's market in a hurry. In Medicine Master Sun's office, Sun Yukai listened to Chen Aifu describe how he humiliated Xiao Chen. He couldn't help but smile and nod his head, he's just a piece of trash. It's troublesome to teach him a lesson. That's true. For Medicine Master Sun, you can't be bothered to do anything, but for me, it's just practice. Chen Aifu knew that he had to build a good relationship with Medicine Master Sunday. In the future, he would have to rely on Medicine Master Sunday. What did Xiao Chen come here for? Medicine Master Sun nodded his head in satisfaction and looked at the disciple beside him. He bought a sky clear grass and left. He swiped his card and paid with cash, the disciple quickly said. Oh. He bought a sky clear grass. Medicine Master Sun couldn't help but feel strange. What was this sky clear grass used for? This was a very common medicinal herb used for detoxification. It could remove some toxins from the body. However, the premise of using this medicinal herb was that it had to be used together with other medicinal herbs or cultivation techniques. Using it alone was similar to a laxative. There was no way to detoxify the body. To detoxify the body, one had to use other elixirs or cultivation techniques to force the toxins out of the body and then use the sky clear grass to directly expel it. If there was no such thing, this thing was similar to those croton and phenolphthalein tablets. Spending so much money on a laxative was really not worth it. Could it be that this kid has been constipated for the past few days and bought it to take a dump? Chen Aifu said with a laugh. Who knows? Forget about him. Because this medicinal herb was not an important medicinal herb, it was just very common. Therefore, Medicine Master Sun didn't care. Xiao Chen wouldn't be able to do anything after buying it. Then, I'll take my leave first. Medicine Master Sun's disciple knew that Medicine Master Sun had something important to say to Chen Aifu, so he immediately took his leave. Alright, you can go now. Medicine Master Sun waved his hand. After the disciple left, he lowered his voice and said to Chen Aifu, Old Chen, after you go back, think of a way to buy some of this in the next few days. Our warrior's market stock is running low. It will probably be announced in a few days, so be prepared in advance. With that, Medicine Master Sun handed a piece of paper to Chen Aifu. Chen Aifu quickly and carefully took it. When he opened it, the words, reversal contingency fruit, were written on it. Alright, I understand. Thank you for your guidance, Medicine Master Sun, Chen Aifu said excitedly. Alright, you can go back now. Don't come to my office directly in the future. If there's any other news, I'll get my disciple or red hair to hint to you. Medicine Master Sun said, today, the surveillance in my office was temporarily turned off. However, we can't always turn it off. Otherwise, people will be suspicious. No problem, Medicine Master Sunday, don't worry, I won't cause you any trouble. I'll take my leave first. Chen Aifu's expression turned serious. He quickly said and got up to leave. Alright, you can go now. Medicine Master Sun waved his hand, indicating that Chen Aifu could leave. After Chen Iafu left, Medicine Master's son went to find someone to turn on the surveillance video. As for Chen Iafu, after he went downstairs, he directly drove out of the warrior's market. He didn't stay there for long. He now had 2 pieces of good news in his hands. When he went back, he wanted to show his family, especially Old Man Sunday. He wanted everyone to see that Chen Iafu was also very useful. As soon as he went out, he did 2 big things. All these years, he had been holding it in. Now that he finally had a chance to show off, how could he let go of such a rare opportunity? Chapter 238. Chen Iafu was very excited. Maybe when he went back, Sun Yumao would reward him with full service at night. Previously, the Sun family had become more and more powerful over the years, and Sun Yumao's attitude towards him had become colder. The Sun family didn't value Chen Iafu, and even Sun Yumao felt that he was incompetent. Therefore, in terms of the marital life, they usually handled it carelessly, which made Chen Iafu very depressed. However, as the son-in-law of the Sun family, who was becoming more and more powerful, Chen Iafu still didn't dare to go out and fool around. If he was caught by the Sun family, he would die a terrible death. Although his life was a little depressed now, at least the money he earned was enough to spend. If the Sun family really found trouble with him, his future life would definitely be even more unpleasant. Fortunately, Sun Yumao was like his name, and he was really good-looking. Moreover, this kind of middle-aged woman was even more attractive, so Chen Iafu was very excited just thinking about it. He drove all the way back to the Sun family, and directly walked to elder son, Sun Xiaonong's villa. He didn't expect Sun Xiaonong and the Sun family to still be there, and they were discussing how to deal with Qin Jinping. Iafu, why are you back so soon? Sun Xiaonong looked at Chen Iafu strangely. In his opinion, Chen Iafu should be at the warrior guild, getting close to Medicine Master Sunday, father-in-law. I went to the warrior market to do 2 things. Speaking of this, Chen Iafu was a little proud, especially in front of so many people from the Sun family. He could finally hold his head high for once. Oh. What things? Sun Xiaonong asked. The first thing is, I met Xiao Chen on the way to the warrior guild. Chen Iafu said, I saw him. Isn't that the useless Xiao family Xiao Chen? I thought about it, isn't he Qin Jinping's boss? So I thought, I want to teach him a lesson to vent our anger for the Sun family. Oh. You met Xiao Chen? Did you vent your anger? Sun Xiaonong was a little surprised that Xiao Chen was going to the warrior guild but he still asked. To be honest, Sun Xiaonong's hatred for Xiao Chen was not as great as Qin Jinping's. After all, Xiao Chen was just a figure behind the scenes, and everything was done by Qin Jinping. Therefore, killing Qin Jinping would give him a refreshing sense of revenge. However, being able to teach Xiao Chen a lesson wasn't bad either. If it weren't for the fact that Xiao Chen was Qing Menjiang's servant and couldn't be killed, Sun Xiaonong might have already sent someone to kill him. Yeah, what happened at that time was like this. I saw Xiao Chen driving, so I flashed my light at him from behind, blinding his dog eyes, and then Chen Iotafor told him about how he played tricks on Xiao Chen on the road. The Sun family suddenly laughed after listening. Although in their eyes, Xiao Chen was just a playboy and was nothing, it was good to teach him a lesson. Who asked him to go against the Sun family? After that, Chen Iotafor told about how he domineeringly broke Xiao Chen's arm and almost made Xiao Chen cry. The Sun family laughed again. Iotafor, you humiliated Xiao Chen. He won't let his underlings trouble you, right? Sun Yumao asked with some worry. Although she looked down on Chen Iotafor was her husband after all. What he did today was domineering, which made her very happy. Especially when Chen Iotafor was put in an important position, Sun Yumao was more pleased with Chen Iotafor. Trouble? It's uncertain how long Qin Jinping can live. Sun Xiaonong waved his hand and said indifferently, when others bully our Sun family, we have to step back aggressively. This is the potential to be promoted to an aristocratic family. Father-in-law, you are right. However, although Qin Jinping is dead, in order to prevent the Xia family from finding trouble with us, I suggest that you send me an additional guard to escort me. Otherwise, when our medicinal herbs are robbed, the loss outweighs the gain. Qin Iotafor said his purpose. After all, if Qin Jinpeng was dead, there was still Zhu Yingxiong. Iotafor's suggestion is good. I didn't consider it before. I didn't expect some people to be so crazy that they dare to rob medicinal herbs. Sun Xiaonong said, in the future, I will let Wang Qiue from our house follow you. He is a martial artist at the 4th level of inner energy. It should be more than enough to suppress Qin Jinpeng and Zhu Yingxiong. Thank you, father-in-law. Qin Iotafor was immediately overjoyed. Now, he could rest easy. Therefore, he continued, there is another good news. In the warrior's market, there is a small stock of response fruit. Medicine Master Sun said that he will probably announce it in a few days, so we should prepare in advance. If there is stock, we can directly sell it when the time comes. Okay, no problem. You handle this matter, Iotafor. Let Wang Qiue follow you and buy all the response fruit from the pharmacies in the nearby cities, Sun Xiaonong said. The response fruit was a relatively common and precious medicinal herb. Many pharmacies also sold it, but the price was relatively high, so there were fewer people who bought it. However, the Warriors Guild would usually buy it at a higher price, at least 20% difference. In this way, they would earn a little more than 100,000 yuan. The key was that with Medicine Master Sun as an insider, there would be a lot of opportunities. Although 100,000 yuan was not a lot, it would add up. If there were 2 or 3 opportunities a month, it would be a few million yuan a year. Yes, father-in-law. Qin Iotafor nodded quickly. Yuming, take a look at your channel and see if you can buy a batch too, Sun Xiaonong said to Sun Yuming. Yes, father, Sun Yuming replied. The Sun family was in a joyous mood, but on Xiao Chen's side, he took the Tianqing grass, the dregs, and the electric pot to Tang Tang's residence. He opened the door and put Tang Tang on the bed. Then, Xiao Chen began to boil the medicinal soup for Tang Tang according to Elder Heaven Ancestors' instructions. Although it could not cure the root cause, it was not a problem to treat the symptoms. As long as Xiao Chen continued to boil the medicine for her in the future, it would be fine. One day, when Xiao Chen had the means to completely cure Tang Tang, he could treat her. After boiling the medicine, Xiao Chen carefully fed the medicine into Tang Tang's mouth. This was a troublesome task. Tang Tang was now unconscious, so Xiao Chen could only help her up and feed her little by little. However, Xiao Chen did not have the slightest impatience. This feeling made Xiao Chen feel very warm, as if it was what he should do. After giving the medicine to Tang Tang, Xiao Chen breathed a sigh of relief. After putting Tang Tang on the bed and covering her with the quilt, Xiao Chen asked, Elder Heaven Ancestor, when can she wake up? Is 1 dose of medicine enough? It's enough. As for the time she will wake up, at least 2 days, at most 3 days, Elder Heaven Ancestor said, she's fine. You don't have to worry too much. It's just a small problem to treat the symptoms. That's good. However, it would take 2 or 3 days for Tang Tang to wake up, so Xiao Chen could not stay with her all the time. He had to go to school, but he could come to see her every morning. After putting away the dregs and the electric pot, Xiao Chen was ready to leave Tang Tang's residence. At this time, Xiao Chen's phone rang. Xiao Chen thought it should be the young lady, but he did not expect it to be Yu Xiaochuan. Xiao Chen, how is Tang Tang? Yu Xiaochuan asked with concern after he answered the phone. After taking my elixir, her condition has stabilized, but I don't know when she will wake up. What's the matter? Asked Xiao Chen. You two are really in love. You gave her your precious elixir. I wish you two a long life together. Said Yu Xiaochuan. Oh, is it all right? Asked Xiao Chen. It's all right. I won't bother you anymore. Go on with your business. Yu Xiaochuan said, you should also have a regular physical examination. Don't get sick and stay healthy. Tang Tang was fine, so Yu Xiaochuan was worried about Xiaochen again. If Tang Tang didn't die, he was afraid that Xiaochen would die. That would be the same. Oh, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. Xiaochen hung up the phone. Motherf asterisk Ker. My kind reminder is bad. Yu Xiaochuan shook his head, but suddenly, with a quack sound, he suddenly slapped his thigh and said, yes. A physical examination. I will know the blood type after the physical examination. Thinking of this, Yu Xiaochuan pondered for a moment and directly dialed the phone of Songning Second Middle School's Director Su. Director Su, this is Yu Xiaochuan. Oh, Yu Xiaochuan, what's the matter? You have been off for so long. When will you come back to class? Director Su's impression of Yu Xiaochuan was quite good. Although he was also a child of an aristocratic family, he was not as troublesome as Lu Zhenming, who always stirred up trouble. I'm not in a hurry to go to class. There are some things at home that I haven't dealt with well. Director Su, I called this time to tell you something. Our Yu family intends to sponsor the school to give all the teachers and students a free physical examination. Yu Xiaochuan said, Tang Tang fainted on the way to school today, so it seems that health is particularly important. You also know that I am very generous and righteous, so I intend to sponsor the school to hold this activity. Oh. Director Su was stunned. He knew that Tang Tang fainted. Qing Menjing had called him to ask for leave before, saying that Tang Tang fainted and had to go to the hospital, but he didn't expect Yu Xiaochuan to sponsor everyone for a physical examination. However, this was a good thing. He knew Yu Xiaochuan's character more or less. He seemed to be a very upright and generous person. Moreover, he was very willing to help others in school, so he immediately agreed, this is a good thing. I have no opinion. Yu Xiaochuan, why don't you come to school and I will take you to see the principal? Okay, I will go there now. Yu Xiaochuan was very excited. He was so smart that he could come up with such a good idea. There were so many girls in the school. He didn't believe that he couldn't find a mysterious body. Xiaochen drove to the school gate and met Yu Xiaochuan, who was also here. Xiaochen, you are doing well. You even drive a BMW X5. Yu Xiaochuan was a little surprised to see Xiaochen's car. Xiaochen was so poor, but he still sold breakfast on the morning market street. How could he drive a BMW? Chapter 239. Oh, it's a gift from Jean Bebe, Xiaochen said. Jean Bebe? Xiaochen, you can't be half-hearted. Yu Xiaochuan was greatly shocked after hearing what Xiaochen said. His good mood that he had just come up with a great solution was gone. If Jean Bebe and Tang Tang were put together, Yu Xiaochuan felt that anyone who was sane would choose to be with Jean Bebe. Although Jean Bebe was a naughty girl and the nemesis of fops, she seemed to fit in well with Xiaochen. It was hard to say. What are you talking about? Xiaochen countered with a question. Exactly. You can't have Jean Bebe but not Tang Tang. Yu Xiaochuan said, gentlemen value friendship. We cannot abandon each other after we have slept with each other. Oh, Jean Bebe and I are good friends. Xiaochen did not bother to talk to him anymore. Gentlemen value friendship? This guy spent money on me to hit on his fiancée, and he said that he valued friendship? That sounded like *T, alright. Call me if you need anything. Yu Xiaochuan was greatly relieved. He realized that the Jean family was not stupid enough to let Jean Bebe be with Xiaochen, a loser who had been kicked out of the family. Thinking about that, Yu Xiaochuan walked to Director Su's office in a hurry. The moment Xiaochen entered the classroom, Qing Menjing sent him a message asking about Tang Tang. She was not relieved until she received a positive reply from Xiaochen. Jing Xiaokuan, on the other hand, was somewhat worried because he did not see Xiaochen in the morning. Seeing Xiaochen, he hurried to ask, Xiaochen, have you seen Tang Tang? Why is she not here today? Oh, Tang Tang is sick. She fainted with a cold in the morning. Qing Menjing and Jean Bebe happened to run into her and took her to the hospital. Then, they informed me. I sent her home after her transfusion. She will probably take 2 to 3 days of sick leave. It won't be a problem. Xiaochen did not say much to Jing Xiaokuan, fearing that he would be worried. After all, Tang Tang was fine now. Ah. She caught a cold. Jing Xiaokuan was shocked. Let's go and see her after school, shall we? She likes to sleep. I'm afraid to disturb her. Forget it. She's fine. She said that when she's better, she'll come to school by herself. She told us not to visit her. Xiaochen said quickly. If that's the case, then okay. Jing Xiaokuan didn't think that Xiaochen could lie to him, so he nodded to show that he understood. Yu Xiaochuan was very eloquent. Before the first class in the afternoon, the school broadcast the voice of Director Su. Attention, everyone. Attention, everyone. Tomorrow morning, the school will be organizing a free physical examination. Please be prepared. Because we will need to draw blood for testing, I suggest that you don't have breakfast. Director Su repeated before the class began. Yu Xiaochuan did good deeds without leaving his name, and he didn't let Director Su promote him. This surprised Director Su. Although Yu Xiaochuan had done a lot of good things before, he was a person who cared about his reputation. What happened this time? Could it be that he had changed and didn't care about fame and fortune anymore? But no matter what, the principal had agreed to this matter. The physical examination was beneficial, so he had no reason to refuse. The afternoon passed in a hurry. Xiaochen was driving the BMW X5 and was about to go home, but he received a call from CFA. CFA, what's the matter? Asked Xiaochen. White Fox Hero, according to the latest news from our CF family, the Sun family has appointed a new person to be in charge of the business of the Warrior Guild. CFA was also a little depressed. This Sun family is endless. 2 people are dead, and they still have the mood to say something. This old man, Sun Xiaonong's heart is so strong. Oh, I know, Chen Iotafor. Xiaochen met him today. This person made Xiaochen very annoyed. So, before CFA gave the order, he was put on the death list by Xiaochen. White Fox Hero, you actually know about it too? CFA was a little surprised. What do you plan to do next? He won't live for a few days. What should I do? Xiaochen said, you don't have to worry. I will help you settle it. Who? CFA's heart twitched. Listening to White Fox Hero's words, Chen Iotafor is not far from death? Don't know how he will die? Is it still the wind on the horse? This made CFA really a little confused. White Fox Hero is so powerful, and he is a psychic. Why does he like to let people die on the horse? However, she was afraid that this was White Fox Hero's bad taste. She didn't want to interfere, so she said, then I will trouble White Fox Hero. My father is also in my villa. He said that he wants to invite you to dinner tonight to express his gratitude. Forget about the dinner. I am very busy. I have a lot of business. It's not just your business. Xiaochen said, if you have something to say, just say it. All right. Actually, there is something. CFA wanted to talk about it during dinner, but she didn't expect White Fox Hero to not keep the appointment. She had no choice but to say it on the phone. It's like this. Our CF family, because of the Sun family's previous run on us, we lost a lot. Moreover, you also know that we paid you a lot of salary, say it. Xiaochen was in a hurry to drive back. CFA explained so much, which made Xiaochen a little impatient. He still had to hurry home. Okay. CFA was a little embarrassed. Our CF family also wants to do some temporary supply business. I heard that the Sun family has Medicine Master Sun's help, so they went to purchase some medicinal herbs. However, with our identity as an insider, it's impossible to inquire about such a confidential matter. So, can White Fox Hero help inquire about what medicinal herbs the Sun family is purchasing? This? Xiaochen frowned. This matter was really difficult to inquire. Unless he forced the Sun family, otherwise, where could he ask? If it's difficult, then forget it. Xia Fei actually knew that this matter was definitely troublesome, but she couldn't resist Xia Chaonan's persuasion because the Sun family's capital chain was really a little tight. I will help you inquire about it. Don't have too much hope. Xiao Chen looked at the 10 million reward and agreed. Then, I will trouble White Fox Hero. Xia Fei breathed a sigh of relief and hung up the phone. How is it? What did White Fox Hero say? Xia Chaonan asked quickly. White Fox Hero said to give it a try. Xia Fei said, I think we shouldn't trouble White Fox Hero for such a small matter in the future. Okay, what about Chen Iotaphore? Asked Xia Chaonan. White Fox Hero said that Chen Iotaphore won't live for a few days. Xia Fei said, he said that we don't have to worry. Huh, that's good. Xia Chaonan couldn't help but laugh. Will he still die on horseback? That's interesting. I didn't ask, but it might be, said Xia Fei. If another member of the Sun family dies, let's see if Sun Xiaonong will be afraid. This is called those who commit unjust deeds bring about their own destruction. Xia Chaonan laughed heartily. Also, White Fox Hero said that he is very busy. It's not just our Xia family's business, so he can't come for a meal, said Xia Fei. Oh. Xia Chaonan was slightly stunned, then he thought about it and asked, then, when you ask him to come, doesn't he come? He didn't say he was busy. No. Xia Fei shook her head. Maybe he's busy today, silly daughter, huh? I guess White Fox Hero thinks that it's unnecessary for us to be the third wheel here. When you are alone, he comes. Xia Chaonan laughed and said, well, if that's the case, we won't bother you anymore. We will go back to the Xia family first. Xia Fei wanted to say, it can't be like this, right? However, she suddenly felt a little hopeful that it was true. She didn't worship anyone, nor did she like anyone. The union with Wang Xiongzhuang was nothing more than a union of benefits. She didn't have too much contact with other men. However, recently, she suddenly looked forward to seeing White Fox Hero. She also looked forward to talking to him on the phone. Everything about White Fox was so attractive to her, making her want to understand him. Xia Fei didn't know if it was worship or love, but she knew that she definitely didn't reject more contact with White Fox. Little sister, you can do it. Xia Huang raised his fist. The people of the Xia family left, leaving only Xia Fei sitting on the sofa in a daze, thinking about White Fox Hero. However, her breathing suddenly became rapid. Xia Fei hurriedly stood up and quickly ran upstairs. Her footsteps were a little unsteady. Xiao Chen drove in the direction of his family's villa. He still needed to go back and brew medicine. However, when he passed by the pharmacy where Hongzhu was, Xiao Chen thought for a moment and decided to thank Hongzhu. After all, the sky-clear grass was bought under Hongzhu's guidance. Moreover, for some reason, when Xiao Chen passed by this place, he suddenly had the idea to see Hongzhu. If Hongzhu knew about this, she would definitely be very happy. Her subtle influence had finally taken effect. It seemed that the mental cultivation method she practiced was not completely useless for Xiao Chen. After parking the car, Xiao Chen got off and walked into the pharmacy. Huh? Little brother, why are you here again? Hongzhu had seen Xiao Chen several times a day, and even she was a little surprised. It's nothing, I was just passing by and wanted to thank you on the way. I bought the sky-clear grass, Xiao Chen said. Oh, it's nothing. We have such a good relationship, you can come and chat with me when you have time, Hongzhu said. I'm alone in the pharmacy, it's very boring. No problem, I'll be leaving first, Xiao Chen said. However, just as Xiao Chen was about to leave, two people pushed open the door and walked into the pharmacy. When the man in the lead saw Xiao Chen, he was stunned. Xiao Chen was also stunned. He was very surprised. Why did this person come here? Get lost. Chen Iotaphore stretched out his hand and pushed Xiao Chen, causing him to stagger. He then turned to Hongzhu and said, "Boss, do you have any heaven reversing response fruit?" "Oh, no," Hongzhu simply said. "No? Then forget it." Chen Iotaphore was a little regretful, but he didn't say anything else. He turned around and was about to leave when he saw Xiao Chen again. Chapter 240. Chen Iafu sneered and said sarcastically, "Why are you here to buy medicine again? Why do I keep bumping into you here? Does a good-for-nothing like you still need to take medicine?" "Oh, I know, are you impotent?" "Oh, it seems that thing of yours is very useful, but you should be careful, you can easily die if you use it too much." Xiaochen curled her lips. "Huh, sour grapes when you can't eat them. If I wasn't in a hurry, I would have beaten you up again." Chen Iafu didn't seem to mind and walked away with a laugh. "I'll let you go for now." Xiaochen looked at Chen Iafu's back and sneered, then turned to Hongzhu and asked, "Don't you have the heaven reversing response fruit? I seem to remember that I also have it among my medicinal ingredients, right? Why didn't you sell it to him? Big sister doesn't like to do business with dead people. I heard that money from dead people can be turned into underworld money. Wouldn't big sister suffer a great loss?" Hongzhu said. "Dead people?" Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. "Don't tell me you couldn't tell?" Hongzhu asked. "Tell what?" Xiao Chen asked. "Of course I could tell that the person just now was about to die," Hongzhu said. "Otherwise, why would you say that he would die easily?" "I was just speaking casually." Xiao Chen was dumbstruck. This Hongzhu could actually tell that Chen Iafu was about to die? How was that possible? Black chi surged up from his forehead and formed a skull. "We are all sensible people, so don't pretend in front of big sister." Hongzhu curled her lips, but inwardly, she was sure that Xiao Chen was a devil cultivator and could also see the problem. Although not every devil cultivator had this ability, a small number of devil cultivators who cultivated special mental cultivation methods and had some talent were still able to do so. Hongzhu was one of them, and in her opinion, Xiao Chen should also be one of them. "Huh," Xiao Chen chuckled, but inwardly, he was even more shocked. He could even see that. Just what kind of background did this Hongzhu have? Wasn't he too amazing? "Right, tell big sister, you can't really be impotent, can you?" Hongzhu blinked his eyes and suddenly asked Xiao Chen curiously, "Every time you grab the medicine, is it to treat this?" "Pfft. Ahem." Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "How is that possible? Then why didn't you refute? Why do you look like you've been appointed?" Hongzhu did not know that Xiao Chen was deliberately pretending to be weak. Seeing that Xiao Chen did not fight with a martial artist at the first layer of inner strength, Hongzhu found it a little strange. "Why don't you give it a try?" Xiao Chen was speechless when he saw Hongzhu's confident expression. "Sure. It just so happens that big sister hasn't tried it yet." Hongzhu nodded excitedly. Come on. Is that true?" Hongzhu's reply slightly tempted Xiao Chen. "It's true, but according to our clan's rules, you have to take responsibility, and then marry into our clan," Hongzhu said with a beaming smile. "Then forget it, I'm leaving. You can have fun." Xiao Chen turned around and left. He knew that Hongzhu was playing with him. Why would he believe her? Hongzhu's bell-like laughter came from behind Xiao Chen, causing Xiao Chen's mind to ripple. He hurriedly quickened his pace. After returning to the car, Xiao Chen suddenly remembered that Chen Iotaphore had come to buy the heaven-reversing response fruit. The Sun clan was the herb supplier, so why did they go to other pharmacies to buy it? Even if they used it themselves, shouldn't they have asked Medicine Master Sun to bring it back from the Warriors Market Square? There was no reason for them to come to a pharmacy. Suddenly, Xiao Chen remembered Xia Fei's call and suddenly understood something. After calling Xia Fei back, Xiao Chen said directly, "The Sun clan is buying the heaven-reversing response fruit." You found out so quickly?" Xia Fei's voice was a little strange, as if she was extremely excited. "Xia Fei, what's wrong? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Isn't it good to be fast? Why are you so surprised? You weren't so surprised when the Sun Clan died. No, nothing, thank you, I got it. I have something to do here, I'll hang up first. Xia Fei hung up the phone without waiting for Xiao Chen's response. Xiao Chen really didn't understand why Xia Fei was so excited, but his task had been completed, so he could go home and brew the medicine with peace of mind. Jean Bebe didn't stay here tonight. Old Master Jean was very fond of Jean Bebe, so he usually let her go back home. Looking at Qing Menjing lying on the sofa watching TV, Xiao Chen was a little timid. Would Miss Qin bring up what happened last night again? Why did you come back so late? Did you go to see Tang Tang? Qing Menjing was a little unhappy when she saw Xiao Chen drive back so late today. No, I went to the pharmacy. Xiao Chen glanced at Miss Qin and found that she was not really angry, so he said. Oh, I'm hungry. Qing Menjing heard that Xiao Chen went to the pharmacy instead of Tang Tang's home. She didn't know why, but she felt a little better. I'll get something to eat. Xiao Chen went to the kitchen. He had been busy these days, and he hadn't cooked a decent meal for Miss Qin for several days. After a while, Xiao Chen cooked all the ingredients in the refrigerator and put them on the table. Why did you cook so many dishes today? Tell me, did you do something wrong to me? When Qing Menjing saw the dishes on the table, she was a little surprised. Xiao Chen didn't know what to say. I'm just kidding. Qing Menjing sat down and picked up the chopsticks. She glanced at Xiao Chen and said, You eat too. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded, sat across from her, and had dinner with Miss Qin. Every time he had dinner with Miss Qin, Xiao Chen had a very warm feeling, as if he was at home. He didn't know if Miss Qin had the same feeling. But probably not. It was estimated that Qing Menjing had never regarded him as her fiancé. What he had done before would probably make anyone sad. After dinner, Miss Qin looked at the bowl and chopsticks on the table and said, Do you want me to wash the dishes? No, you go to rest. I'll do it. Xiao Chen quickly cleaned up the bowl and chopsticks. Qing Menjing glanced at him and said in her heart, He must have provoked me yesterday, and today he came to please me. Then I won't be polite to him. I'll go to rest. The current Xiao Chen could still be considered a more qualified fiancé. If he had been like this before, I wouldn't have kicked him. It's too late now. It's too late to try and please me. I'm not going to pay attention to you. Yesterday, I saw how pleased you were when you touched me. You must be interested in me. It must be so. Not long after Qing Menjing went upstairs, Yi Xiaoya came downstairs. She looked around and asked Xiao Chen, Jean Bebe is not here, is she? No, what's wrong? Xiao Chen was surprised. Nothing. I was pissed off by her this morning. Yi Xiaoya said gloomily. In the morning? Xiao Chen was not here in the morning. He went out early, so he didn't know what happened between Jean Bebe and Yi Xiaoya. But with Jean Bebe's eloquence, Yi Xiaoya must have been at a disadvantage. Forget it, let's not talk about it, Yi Xiaoya said, I'll study that dog for another 2 days. It's weird. It seems to be a martial dog. Martial dog? What's that? Xiao Chen was somewhat confused. It's a dog that can practice martial arts. But I'm not sure. Yi Xiaoya said, you should know martial arts. I've investigated your and Qing Menjing's identities. You are her fiancé and the foppish young master of the Xiao family. You can't practice martial arts. But the rumors are not entirely true. I don't see you as a foppish young master, but you are infatuated with her. Even though you were kicked out, you are still working as a manservant for the goddess. I really don't know what to say about you. Can't you live without her? Yi Xiaoya's words made Xiao Chen speechless. What Yi Xiaoya had investigated was mostly the superficial things. Few people knew the real reason why he was here. Yi Xiaoya probably hadn't found out, either. Why are you talking about me? I need to go to school and survive now. Without her taking me in, what can I do? You can go to the warrior guild to do missions. Oh, yes, you can't. Okay. Yi Xiaoye suddenly remembered that Xiao Chen was a good-for-nothing. If he couldn't practice martial arts, why would he do missions? Xiao Chen didn't know what to say. Let's not talk about me. How's your retreat? Retreat? How do you know that I'm in retreat? Yi Xiaoye was stunned and looked at Xiao Chen strangely. Not many people knew that she was in retreat to break through, and she didn't tell Xiao Chen. Oh, you've been in seclusion every day. Aren't you in retreat? Xiao Chen said calmly on the surface, but in fact, he was shocked. He almost exposed his identity as the White Fox. He was confused by Yi Xiaoye's words just now. He thought that he was the White Fox. You can say that I'm in retreat. Yi Xiaoye only understood what Xiao Chen meant after listening to him. Okay, let's not talk about it anymore. I'm going to take some medicinal ingredients to brew the medicine. After saying that, Yi Xiaoye went to the fridge to take the medicinal ingredients. Xiao Chen nodded and returned to his room. Xiao Chen now found the reason. He couldn't continue to level up and break through. It was probably because he didn't have enough spiritual jades. However, it was difficult to buy spiritual jades in ordinary jewelry stores. Xiao Chen planned to try his luck tomorrow when he had time. As for the physical examination, Xiao Chen didn't want to go at all. He was very healthy. If there was any problem, the Elder Heaven Ancestor would tell him immediately. There was no need for a physical examination at all. Xiao Chen just happened to have the whole morning to dig for spiritual jades. Back in his room, Xiao Chen started to brew the medicine. Although the Sun family couldn't buy too many emergency response fruits, they couldn't stop Chen Iofo from going door to door to find them. They also bought 200,000 to 300,000 worth of goods. When the time came, they would make a profit of more than 100,000. After explaining to Sun Xiaonong, Chen Iofo couldn't wait to return to his villa. Sun Yumao said that he would reward him today and let him enjoy the full set of treatment of an emperor. Chen Iofo was excited when he thought about it. Sun Yumao hadn't treated him so well for N years. Status really determined everything. The plan to deal with Qin Jinping was also quietly carried out. Chapter 241. For the Sun family, it was as if the heavens were helping them. Qin Jinping didn't go home directly after school today, but drove to the airport instead. It was important to note that the section before the airport expressway was an uninhabited area. It was a convenient place to make a move. Sun Yuming brought the Stage 6 Inner Force Guard with him to the empty section of the highway in front of the airport. They waited there quietly for Qin Jinping's return. As everyone knew, after going to the airport, they would have to drive back. This was the only way. Therefore, when they found out that Qin Jinping went to the airport, they just had to wait for him on the way back. Sun Yuming was excited as he parked the car on the temporary parking line. It was time for revenge. Kill Qin Jinping and avenge the Sun family, Sun Rongqin, and Sun Rongjin. The Sun family's investigation was right. Qin Jinping did drive to the airport after school today, and the car he drove was the black Volkswagen that Xiao Chen gave him. In addition to Qin Jinping, Chao Yuliang was also in the car. However, there were only 2 of them when they went, and when they came back, there were 2 more people in the car. They were Li Shanying and an expert invited by Li Shanying. This expert was a wanted criminal with level 6 inner strength. He was invited by Li Shanying to kill Xiao Chen. Li Shanying wouldn't make a move himself, nor would he let the Li family do it. After all, this wasn't the Li family's territory. Using martial artists to kill people would cause dissatisfaction from other families, and the gains would not make up for the losses. Even with the help of Chao Yuliang and Qin Jinping, it wouldn't work, because they didn't have absolute power in Songning City. Hurting people directly was a taboo. Unless one's strength was tyrannical, others wouldn't dare to say anything. Otherwise, it was better to avoid it as much as possible. Therefore, the person Li Shanning invited was a wanted criminal. If he made a move, he would only be committing crimes. Even if he killed Xiao Chen, he would die in vain. He was already a wanted criminal on the Warrior Guild trading hall. What else could he do? Continue to be wanted? What's more, the person who died was Xiao Chen. It was hard to say if anyone would avenge him, so he could rest easy. Brothering is so thoughtful. Chao Yuliang was overjoyed to see this stage 6 internal force martial artist. Heaven was really helping him. The one behind the scenes was already desperate to kill Xiao Chen, but he didn't have any good ideas. Today, Li Shanning called and said that he would bring an expert. In this way, Chao Yuliang could continue to use Li Shanning to kill Xiao Chen. Stage 6 Inner Force. Let's see if Xiao Chen can still die. This time, he will definitely die. Therefore, Chao Yuliang addressed Li Shanning as brothering. This person was simply here to solve his problems. It's just a coincidence. Li Shanning waved his hand. They came in a private plane. With Li Shanning's ability, it was easy to create a fake identity for this wanted criminal. Especially since it was his own plane, the inspection was not that strict. Therefore, the Warrior Guild did not even realize that this wanted criminal had fled to Songning City. Then when do we make our move? Qin Jinpeng couldn't wait. Motherf asterisk Kerr, he cheated me of a few cars and gave me a worthless broken car. I'm so angry. Wait until he is alone. After all, Brother He Feng is a wanted criminal. It's not good to appear in a crowded place. It's not good if he is targeted by the Warrior Guild, Li Shanning said. No problem. Xiao Chen wakes up at 3 or 4 in the morning to set up his stall. There are not many people on the street at that time, so it's a good time to make our move. Qin Jinpeng knew Xiao Chen's routine like the back of his hand. Okay, tomorrow morning it is. Li Shanning also wanted to make his move as soon as possible to avoid trouble. The car got off the airport highway and onto another highway. There were very few cars on this highway, especially those returning to the city. Because Li Shanning's plane was a private plane, they were the only ones who got off at the same time. There were even fewer vehicles returning to the city. Suddenly, Qin Jinpeng, who was driving, was shocked because the road in front of the car was suddenly blocked by a rough wooden block. Creak. Qin Jinpeng braked suddenly and cursed, "Who the F***ck is so crazy to put a wooden block in the middle of the road? Do they want to die?" Chao Yuliang also frowned. He looked around and saw that there were no cars passing by. Could it be a robbery? It was not uncommon to set up obstacles on the highway and rob people. It was also often seen in the news. But who would be so daring as to block their vehicles? Let's go and take a look. Li Shanning was very calm. There was a stage 6 inner force warrior in the car. What was there to be afraid of? Just as they got off the car, 2 people suddenly jumped out from a haystack on the side of the highway. One of them directly swung his fist at them. This person did not have a clear target. Other than killing Qin Jinpeng, he also wanted to kill all the witnesses. In fact, he wanted to silence them. Boom! The level 6 inner force fugitive that Li Shanning had found, Black Crazy Brother, welcomed the attack with a punch. He was very self-aware. He knew that it was all because of Li Shanning that he was able to escape death. Today, it was the day for him to show his loyalty to Li Shanning. If he did well, Li Shanning would definitely secretly arrange for him to enter the Li family in the future. With that, he would be able to escape from the Warrior Guild. The 2 fists collided. Black Crazy Brother and the Sun family's stage 6 inner force warrior each took a few steps back before stopping. The stage 6 inner force warrior was here to kill, so he did not hold back and used all his strength. Black Crazy Brother, on the other hand, wanted to show his loyalty. Naturally, he wanted to kill the person as soon as possible, so he also used all his strength. You are also stage 6 inner force warrior. Both of them said almost at the same time. Kill them. Seeing that the Sun family's guard was about to retreat, Sun Yuming was shocked and immediately ordered him. Sun Yuming regretted jumping out with them. In his eyes, Chen Jinpeng and his gang would definitely die, so there was no need for him to hide his identity. But now, he did not expect that there would be an additional Stage 6 Inner Force warrior in Chen Jinpeng's car. Although he was not sure if Chen Jinpeng saw him or if he would recognize him in the future, he did not dare to take the risk. If he let Chen Jinpeng go tonight, then the Sun family and the Chen family would not rest until one of them was dead. Blocking the road and killing people was an irreconcilable feud. The Sun family's guard nodded. He came here today because he was promised a great reward. His younger brother had grown up and was very talented in concocting medicine. Therefore, the Sun family promised him that if he did a good job, his younger brother would be able to learn from Medicine Master Sunday. In this way, the Sun family's guard had no choice but to use his full strength. He could also see that the Stage 6 Inner Force warrior in front of him was similar to him in terms of strength, but from the way he responded to him, he could tell that the warrior was unorthodox. Therefore, in terms of strength, the Sun family's guard should be slightly stronger. Ha! The Sun family's guard dodged Black Crazy Brother and punched Li Shanning, who was beside Black Crazy Brother. F***CK. Li Shanning was a little dumbfounded. What was going on? Black Crazy Brother was also stunned. He did not expect the Sun family's guard to be so despicable. Instead of hitting him, he changed his target to his master. Left with no choice, he turned around and pushed Li Shanning away, forcefully taking the attack from the Sun family's guard. Bang! Black Crazy Brother spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the Sun family's guard did not use his full strength in the previous punch. Since there was an expert here, he did not dare to use his full strength in every move. Otherwise, his stamina would be depleted very quickly. Wouldn't that be waiting to be beaten up? Therefore, when he hit Li Shanning, he only used 10% of his strength. Therefore, Black Crazy Brother's injury was not very serious. However, Black Crazy Bro also went crazy. He turned around and threw a heavy punch at the Sun family's guard's head. The Sun family's guard was shocked and subconsciously dodged. However, Black Crazy Bro wasn't stupid. He learned the Sun family's guard's despicable moves and directly passed by him, kicking Sun Yuming, who was behind him. The Sun family guard was greatly alarmed, but Big Brother Hei Feng had walked past him. Even if he turned around to block, it would be too late. So, he had no other choice but to grab Big Brother Hei Feng and try to pull him back. Rip, the sound of clothes being pulled was heard, followed by a bang. Black Crazy Brother's kick landed on Sun Yuming's body. Although the Sun family's guard pulled him back in time and reduced most of the force, this kick on Sun Yuming, who was only at the peak of the first stage of Inner Force, was still enough to make Sun Yuming suffer. Moreover, after being pulled back by the Sun family's guard, Black Crazy Brother's kick was not as high. Originally, it was aimed at the chest, but it ended up on the crotch. Sun Yuming's face immediately turned green. He directly knelt on the ground with a ouch. His head was covered in cold sweat, and his body was trembling. He felt that he had lost everything. Sun Yuming roared while trembling, "Kill him! Kill him!" The Sun family's guard was also a little anxious. He had already failed to protect Sun Yuming. If he still failed to take down the murderer, then not only would his brother learn from Alchemist's son, but he would also have to bear the blame. The Sun family was not scary. The scary thing was Alchemist's son Yukai behind them. This person's power was extremely terrifying. "You're courting death. Give me your life." After the Sun family's guard dragged Big Bro Hei Feng back, he suddenly kicked him in the back and sent him flying. This kick was with all his strength, so the force was quite strong. Black Crazy Brother felt that his spine was about to explode, and he was directly sent flying. After the Sun family's guard kicked Black Crazy Brother, he did not stop. "You hit my master, I'll hit your master too." He quickly ran towards Li Shanning, Chen Jinpeng and the others. Li Shanning was scared out of his wits. Where did all these people come from? Why were the robbers so awesome? They were all martial artists at the 6th stage of inner force. When did Songning City become so awesome? This wasn't a gathering place for martial artists, so why were there so many powerful martial artists? There were so many that the robbers on the road were all martial artists at the 6th stage of inner force. Chapter 242. One had to know that the cities where the Martial Artist Guild and the Martial Artist Market were located were more developed, and there would be some big clans doing business and developing there. However, in reality, those big clans, ancient martial families, and sects would avoid the Martial Artist Guild surveillance and establish their bases in other cities. Therefore, a situation like the one in Songning City where a level 6 inner force expert was everywhere shouldn't happen. Li Shanning took a step back to dodge, but he was still hit by the Sun family's guard's palm wind. Half of his face swelled up. Who are you? I'm Qin Jinpeng from the Qin family of Songning City. Do you know who my father is? Do you know who my grandfather is? Qin Jinpeng was a little confused. He didn't know who it was. My father is the Warrior Guild's Vice President Qin. You dare touch me? Just you wait. You will all die a horrible death. My grandfather, Martial God Qin, is an inner force expert above level 8. Once he makes a move, you will all die. Stop shouting. I think he's Sun Yuming from the Sun family of a neighboring city. I've seen him before. Qiao Yuliang recognized the man who was kneeling on the ground and covered his crotch. He frowned and said, "Why is the Sun family looking for trouble with us? Is it because you beat up that Sun Rongjin at the beach last time? That can't be. It's not a big deal to beat him up, but he sent someone to kill us? What kind of logic is this?" Qin Jinpeng was stunned. The Sun family's guard didn't chase after Li Shanning because Black Crazy Brother would soon get up. If he did anything to Sun Yuming, it would be too late for regrets. He turned around and saw that Black Crazy Brother had indeed gotten up. Why-ya-ya-ya-ya. Black Crazy Brother was kicked and suffered a serious injury. He clenched his teeth and fought with all his might. It was either you die or I die. Kill him for me. Sun Yuming roared. The Sun family's guard slowly nodded his head. He took a deep breath and prepared to continue fighting. When experts of the same level had similar strength, it was difficult to determine the winner and loser. Who won and who lost could be decided in an instant. Seeing Black Crazy Big Brother running over, the Sun clan's guard was about to react according to the situation when he saw Black Crazy Big Brother suddenly spread out his arms. Like a rock spreading its wings, he soared into the sky and smashed towards the Sun clan's guard. Mad Demon Slash. This was Black Mad Bro's self-created and famous move. His entire body smashed down from the sky like a giant bird. At this moment, the muscles on his body were taut and incomparably hard. If he smashed down on a low-level martial artist, he would definitely be smashed to death. Facing an expert of the same level, it was also very powerful. Especially an injured martial artist like the Sun family's guard, he was even more confident that he could smash him to death. However, what Black Mad Bro didn't expect was that the Sun family's guard didn't dodge at all. Instead, he raised his arms above his head and pushed them out. Fist techniques were what the Sun family's guard was good at. He directly smashed both of his fists at Black Mad Bro's body. He didn't dodge either. He wanted to end the battle as soon as possible and then kill Qin Jinpeng and Qiao Yuliang. With his current stamina, he still had some stamina left after the fight with Brother He Feng. It was not a problem for him to deal with a martial artist at the peak of Stage 2 internal force. Li Shanning and Qiao Yuliang were just ordinary people. When he hit Li Shanning earlier, he realized that Li Shanning didn't use any inner force to resist. Therefore, he could determine that Li Shanning didn't know inner force. As for Qiao Yuliang, according to the information, he was as useless as Xiao Qin, unable to cultivate inner force. As for these two ordinary people, as long as he had a trace of strength left, he could easily kill them. After making the calculations, he suddenly punched with all his strength. Bang! With a loud bang, Black Mad Bro landed heavily on the Sun family's guard's fists. The Sun family's guard's legs sank into the hard road, and 2 bowl-sized holes appeared on Black Mad Bro's chest. Black Mad Bro screamed in pain and fell to the ground. He twitched twice and stopped moving. However, the Sun family's guard didn't have it easy either. It seemed like he had won, but in fact, his internal organs were all shifted under the huge impact just now. He couldn't use his strength at all, and his strength was only suppressed to about stage 3 inner force. However, this bit of inner force was enough to kill Qin Jinping. That's all. I didn't expect you to have helpers. But it doesn't matter. He's already dead, so you can't escape the fate of being killed. The Sun family's guard grinned and pulled his feet out from the road, walking towards Qin Jinping and the others. F***CK, famous son, right? You want to go against the Qin family to the end, don't you? Have you ever thought about the consequences? Qin Jinping was a little afraid. This was a martial artist with stage 6 inner force. Previously, Qin Jinping had been able to defend against Mad Black Bro's attack, so he was still fearless. Go against you? Heh, what a joke. You know what you've done. Sun Yuming had recovered a little. Although his lower body was in pain, he could still force himself to stand. Anyway, Medicine Master Sun was at home. It should be fine to go back and check on him. Fine, you're good. Qin Jinping thought Sun Yuming was talking about beating up Sun Rongjin at the beach. He was furious. If you dare touch me, I'll make your Sun family extinct. My father will make your Sun family extinct. Qin Jinping saw that Sun Yuming's D***CK was kicked, so he threatened him. Huh? Sun Yuming was stunned. Extinct? Extinct? Could it be that Sun Rongjin and Sun Rongjin's deaths weren't accidents? Was it Qin Jinping's doing? Thinking of this, Sun Yuming was furious. Don't talk nonsense with him. Kill him. Ha! The Sun family's guard punched at Qin Jinping. Judging from his strength, he was at least stage 3 inner force. Chao Yuliang had been observing from the side. When he saw the Sun family's guard punch at him, he suddenly had an idea. It seemed that this guy was also injured. It was just a strong bow, but if he attacked, his strength would be exposed. However, he had no choice but to attack now. Li Shanning was an ordinary person, and Qin Jinping was only at the peak of stage 2 inner force. How could he resist the attack of a stage 3 inner force? Thinking of this, when the Sun family's guard's punch was about to hit Qin Jinping, Chao Yuliang attacked and caught the Sun family's guard off guard. A full blow of stage 3 inner force. Originally, the Sun family's guard had concentrated all his strength on this blow against Qin Jinping. He didn't make any defense on his body, and he was caught off guard. Boom! The Sun family's guard was sent flying by Chao Yuliang's punch and landed on the ground not far away. He struggled for a while and then stopped moving. Sun Yuming's eyes flashed with horror, but he was not stupid. He made a prompt decision and ran to the car parked not far away. He got in the car, started it, and ran. Chao Yuliang wasn't useless, but he had hidden his strength. He was a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 inner force. This guy hid his strength really well. Chao Yuliang's attack also surprised Qin Jinping. He looked at Chao Yuliang in surprise. Brother Liang, you're a martial artist? And a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 inner force? Yes, I've been hiding my strength before. Chao Yuliang nodded pretentiously. He had some regrets in his heart. He wanted to kill Sun Yuming to silence him, but he let him escape. There was a huge log in the middle of the road. They had to move the log away to cross it, and Sun Yuming's car was parked on the side of the log. If they moved the log away, they definitely wouldn't be able to catch up. Sun Yuming's car was also a good car. The gap was still very obvious. Damn, so Brother Liang, you've been hiding your identity. You're so awesome. I admire you so much. I thought you were as useless as Shao Qin, but now it seems that you've been fooling around with that idiot Xiao Chen. Qin Jinpeng said with admiration. It's not that I'm fooling around with him. I just don't want to show off. Otherwise, I would have caught up with Qing Menjing a long time ago. Qiao Yuliang said proudly, with my strength, I can be considered one of the best among the younger generation in Songning City. That's right. How can Xiao Chen compare with you? If the Qing family knew your strength, they would definitely marry brother Liang. Qin Jinpeng flattered. Okay, you two stop flattering me. Tell me, what the hell is going on? Li Shenying was still a little confused. How come the master he brought was killed before he even saw the shadow of Xiao Chen when he just arrived in Songning City? That Sun Yuming is a temporary member of the Sun family. I don't know what's wrong with him. He actually brought people to kill us. Qin Jinpeng said, if you want to talk about hatred, brother Liang and I beat up a junior of their family at the beach last time. There's nothing else. Who knew they were so vengeful? Oh. That's the trouble you guys caused? Li Shenying suddenly frowned after listening. He was very unhappy. You guys are responsible for the trouble you caused. The master martial artist I brought is dead. What do you think we should do? I say, young Master Li, you're wrong. Qiao Yuliang said, at the beach, Sun Rongjin of the Sun family was looking for trouble with Xiao Chen. It was said that he took a fancy to a woman of Xiao Chen's in our school, so the two of them had a conflict. We deceived Xiao Chen to go to the beach. Wasn't it also you who wanted to do it? Could it be that we didn't care about Xiao Chen and let him be beaten up by Sun Rongjin? Can he still go out with us next time? Young Master Li, can your next plan still be carried out? How is this our fault? We are still puzzled. Because we did things for young Master Li, we got into trouble with the Sun family. So that's how it is. Li Shaoning laughed after hearing that. He knew that Qiao Yuliang had no reason to lie about this kind of thing. He would know after some investigation. Therefore, he immediately changed his smile and said, I was just joking. Don't worry, it's my fault. If Brother He Feng is dead, then so be it. You guys can still get 5,000 points if you hand his corpse to the Warriors Guild. You can get 5,000 points as a reward. This Brother He Feng's strength was higher, but the reward was the same as the evil practitioner last time. This was also because Brother He Feng was entrusted by the Warrior Guild. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.